Hi, everybody. I am sorry for our late start time today. I blame it personally on Josh, but we had some huge audio issue where I couldn't hear Josh. They could hear me, but I sounded like a demon being anally raped, and so I mean, like vigorously, like these were hardcore Catholics, and I was a choir boy. And for our Catholic audience, I want you to know that that was a joke. And if you didn't know it was a joke, please leave the stream now, because you don't need to listen to this shit. It's not going to get any better. It's going to get worse. And being offended, you should realize, is a result of listening. So just stop listening. Now, so I apologize for the delay. It was actually a problem on my end, deep inside my end. And anyway, so welcome to Karandrin Role Playing. My name is Kevin Manus Pennings. I am the creator of this particular world setting. We use a modified Rollmaster 2nd Edition for playing. Joining me today for episode 4 of Ganri's Tale is Ganri's player Joshua Waters, also known as the Little Slut Who Could.
Oh, I haven't heard that name in a long time.
Does it make you self-conscious? Does it make you where all the focus is on you?
Whoa,
Huh?
that was hello. Was not expecting that. It's like, wait, did my PowerPoint presentation just die? What happened there?
I do that to Max on our stream with the focus, like when he's like had a really tough decision. I like making him bigger, and he's like, oh. So
The pressure's on.
yeah,
You're under the magnifying glass. No, yeah. As Kevin said, glad we were able to work through the technical issues. Sorry if we kept anyone waiting. And per your Catholic response, isn't there a how's it go? Offenses taken, not given.
oh, it's so true. Oh man, Max told me to go screw myself. Man,
I know Max and I were having such a pleasant conversation, and just
without me, right?
just smashed it right down the middle.
I could see that. I could see that. I can't say I'm surprised.
But in terms of Ganri's tale, do I need to spell that? Or we're all on the same page there when I say tail.
Tight tail.
Ganri is on his way back home to meet up with the adventuring group known as the Band, which initially got him into the adventuring life.
A retired
and
group.
Yes, retired and on the run from a powerful, mysterious villain known as the Glass Minister, who apparently got the better of them, as many of the Band are injured or maimed or carry other sort of lingering permanent sicknesses that affect their health on a daily basis. So they are holed up at the farm right next to where my family farms. And I have a big event planned with my family in 4 days' time, I want to say. That's right.
I think that's right.
4 or 5. And so anyway, I was headed back. Some recent events have happened. I wanted to discuss some things with that adventuring group, and I don't want to miss this big event with my family, especially with my mother. Also, I've recently come into possession of a new magical tome, which Ganri is very excited to get his grubby little dwarven fingers in and start fiddling around there, learning some stuff.
You do love putting your fingers in things. You do.
I do. They are just thick and pudgy.
Ridged for your pleasure.
Yes. So, at any rate.
And as always, I'm gonna post some.
That was in the private chat.
Yes. I have to park them there. I've got to park them there so that I can retrieve them periodically. So I'm going to post, links to our donate page. You're always welcome to donate, except for Midnight Dawn, who is not allowed to donate. And we've had that discussion, and I'll beat you down. And
Wait, put who Midnight Dawn is in the private chat, because I don't know who that is.
oh, you don't know who that is? There you go.
Oh, name change, huh?
Well, yeah. Well, yes. Well, yeah. For various reasons that I urged on them today. So,
Hmm.
so anyway, so I'm going to be posting links to our donate page, also to Josh's, well, I should say Ganri's character sheet, and so on. We did figure out our link problem. Oh, the burn. Midnight Dawn just told me to shut up. It's just honestly, do we need that? Do we need that kind of language in this chat? I
I'm
mean,
just gonna role play out how role playing would go if Kevin were silent the entire time. So headed down the road, right? And what do I see? Oh no, really? Not that. Well, I think you know what I'm going to cast. Uh huh. That's right. Did it succeed? It did.
wait a minute. Wait a
Oh
minute.
my god, that much gold?
So if I wasn't involved, you would just say, "You know what I'm going to cast," and
Yeah,
have me guess.
I would just have that whole part there for the audience's imagination, right?
I see.
Not that creature. You told me that's the deadliest creature they ever printed. What? No. There's three of them?
Oh,
Oh my
hey,
god.
Quinn. Quinn has joined us. Hey, Quinn. Always glad to see you. All right, and here's his personality and Ganry's equipment. Um, speaking of fingers and things. Hi, everybody.
Hi,
So
Quinn. I wish I could text from this window without having to, you know
yeah,
what I mean?
hop.
Go into something else, which I'm
Yeah.
not going to do. I'm going to try to focus. So,
No, I got you. Yeah. We had talked about you doing using your pad or something to do that, which I keep meaning
yeah.
to set up so I can, have that up. But I do get to see everything. So it occurs to me the only reason I would have it up is for quality check, and people will yell at me if the quality's bad. Uh,
That's funny, Midnight Dawn.
isn't
That,
that
that, that
crazy?
could be fun. Yeah.
Oh dear lord. Yeah, nothing like having. Okay, I was gonna say 40 game masters, but let's be honest, it's closer to 4. We're not that popular yet. So yeah, if Midnight Dawn is suggested for our just audio listeners, she's suggested that the chat run the game, and that for our players, and I think that would be fantastic. It would drive me nuts to watch. I'm like, what are they doing in my world? What, you know? Oh my lord, magic missile. No, we're much.
Wait, no, that's not right. What is that? That's Burning Hands. Magic Missile does have a requirement, though, right? That you actually have to have both hands free or
Well,
something.
it probably varies from version to version of D&D. I don't know. I don't know anymore. Um,
I think it would be fun if you made where every spell had to be, regardless of the game you're playing, it had to be personalized to the caster, right? And so they had to decide up front what that spell was going to look like.
oh, I
So
like
every
that.
time I cast Magic Missile, you just see me doing the wait, where am I? There's my camera. Like
Right.
I've got to, yeah.
That would be right. It's like yeah, I have to stand on one foot to cast this, and if I lose balance in the course of the spell, that's a fumble. Hey, Frog Hop. Uh,
And what's up, ATL?
that's right. Up in the ATL. Thanks for stopping in at least, Frog Hop. We really appreciate that. Um, we appreciate you swinging by. We do. We were having audio issues both with Josh and with me sounding really staticky. So everybody, let me know how I sound. And what I mean is when I scat, oh boo boo doo boo. Okay. So
Oh, Frog Hop knows their D&D.
he knows AD&D, but
Uh
she
huh.
really has to. I mean, to be thorough, he or she has to go through and tell us every version of D&D.
Oh my
So
God.
speaking of,
Oh,
Max still has my D&D book. Don't think I've forgotten you, grubby whore. But
Midnight Dawn. That is fantastic.
I never lived that down for the longest time.
Because
Specifically, never. She never lived it down for the longest time. That being,
well,
never.
that's that thing though, right? Like rolling for everything. It's just the rule of numbers. Like eventually you're going to fumble. You roll enough times. Just like eventually you'll crit if you roll enough times.
Right, exactly.
Got to make failure interesting. Otherwise, don't roll for it.
That's right. That's right. So I guess oh yeah, I see you, Max. I don't think you're sneaking away with anything. So uh,
Wow.
I didn't get to be a DM after that. Man,
I'm just looking at the Frog Hop there. All the versions. I'm assuming that's like Moldvay and all that stuff with the D&D. So from the 70s forward, apparently. Flex.
I've seen Frog Hop Flex. Not that impressive. It's not that.
Wait, where from the front or from behind?
I think we know the answer is both. But Andrew, my dear departed brother Andrew, whom I miss dearly. I miss both my brothers dearly. I do. But Andrew and I used to have this joke about, we talk about someone like, oh, he has that kind of wiry strength. That strength capable of bending a wire. we used to have. We used to have that.
Capable of bending a wire.
Yeah. So. All right. So in recap, but really the biggest development we had from last episode was that Ganri had a meeting with a set of dwarven nobility who was interested in hiring an adventurer for very secret missions to the east in the lands now controlled by the trolls. They have tried to form sort of this about 150 years ago. They swept through the mountains. They pushed dwarves and men, both on their western frontier and their eastern frontier, out of the mountains and formed this crude sort of federation of nations that they now call the Troll Clans. And because there are lost dwarven relics in that area, I should say. That might be what's involved. It might be simply information gathering, but it's going to be very hush hush. So they're going to, so we don't know the nature of the mission. We'll hear about that in a week's worth of game time. And in between that, Ganri is going to find a way to occupy himself. Some of that we may roll through off screen, just to warn you if we suddenly jump ahead in time. We're going to try to make sure the more compelling stuff, of course, goes on screen.
I had a recommendation for that, and I was thinking, I don't know how we didn't think of this before, montage.
Oh my God. If only I was better at video editing, we could totally do that. We could do a silly one and put it on. What do you think about that?
Well, I was thinking about the montage that they do and the song they have with it in Team America World Police.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna need a montage.
Oh, yeah.
And
well, they do it, and when they rebooted the Muppets, not really a reboot, but when they did the Muppets movie most recently, which has Jason Segel in it, that movie, which is a fantastic movie if you've not seen it. I'm a huge Muppets fan. It was so damn funny, and that's exactly what they did. Is they did how are we going to get the crew back together? And they look at each other and they go, 80s montage, and they go, all right, and they do it, and it's hilarious. So,
but at the end of that, we have to have them all in a van on a runway.
That's a MacGruber reference, if you don't know that. Josh and I both adore the movie MacGruber.
Gotta get those Blaupunk speakers.
Oh, man. Now, Pooch Hugger used the term Nimrod. And so far as I know, there are three ways to use the term Nimrod. One is I'm going to go with what I think is the most popular way, which is Bugs Bunny's reference to somebody who's stupid.
Oh, I thought you were going to comic books.
No, I was going to go for that one because he would call people like, what a Nimrod. And I don't know why he did that, because the biblical reference is to an Old Testament great hunter. Isn't that right, Josh?
Yeah, I guess he was technically a hunter, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't-
that's a deep cut Old Testament reference right there. Although the Pixies did have a song reference, Nimrod's son, and I don't know if I recall if that was in reference to the biblical Nimrod or not. Um,
and I think one of the things in this conversation that we can really point out the strength of Karandrin is staying on topic. But of course the other one is the robot anti-mutant hunter,
yeah, we go.
who is pretty phenomenal. And he probably, I'm going to say this boldly and with no apology, probably the best character ever who was pink. Isn't that unusual that they made him a pink color?
Yeah, that is true. It's kind of a pink and crystalline, right? Clear and
Yeah.
pink. Yeah.
Man, he was like,
I'm
seriously, he gave me chills.
I'm scanning the data banks, and I may have to agree with you with the pink. Yeah, I'm not coming up with anybody as cool as Nimrod in pink right now.
But he was terrifying. Like, he would just dispatch with people. He was just crazy efficient at just kicking ass. But hey, enough about me.
And since we're playing Ganri, enough about kicking ass.
That really makes me miss Andrew, because Andrew would kind of say, "Hey, I can chime in." Man, Andrew played so much Rollmaster. He played, I mean, Karandrin. He played so much, and he loved this game. And my brother Tom and I, we just did not get along well enough to play. We tried once, and it just disintegrated like in the first, like seriously, first 15 minutes. I want to say it was terrible. So
later, Frog Hop.
Yeah, man. We'll see you. Are you not entertained? All right.
So,
Did you see Quinn's comment? 6 people watching this dumpster fire? Has COVID made us this desperate for entertainment?
yes, it's done some strange things.
Oh, God. Well, fine. We'll actually play. That's what I hear. That is a cry for help.
So I'm at the side of the road. I have my skirt hitched up with one leg sticking out.
Yeah, but what about your character?
He's there too.
Hey, was that the proctologist? So the
additional parking in the rear. Let's see.
So where we left off last time, like very specifically, is that Ganri is headed back home to the outside. He lived outside of a tiny fishing village called Shran, and it's about a day's travel from his present location, the major port city of Galandos, in the dwarven nation of Garamor. I know it may be difficult to see, and I'm going to get these maps done of these regions, but you can see the peninsula there on the left-hand side of the map. That peninsula juts down at about a 45-degree angle going down. Yeah, there you go. You might be able to see
on it.
Yeah, so this whole region is just called the peninsula, broadly speaking, and it's got a chain of mountains down it, pulling it up out of the sea, and Galandos is sort of the top corner there. Yeah, right about. Well, that's toward the coast, dummy. But there you go. Yeah, and so it's right about there. And
there's those troll clans.
Yeah, that broad arc of a nation is the troll clans.
We're right in this area.
Right. And I developed the troll clans to be deliberate. I mean, obviously it's trolls, and Rollmaster trolls they're really tough. I mean, 3 5-level 5th level characters probably couldn't take a single troll. Because they're basically, when you're at 5th level, they're basically one shot and you're dead kind of critters. They're very, 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 very powerful. They hit very, very hard. So, and so this is going to be. Um,
See, you say praying mantis. I see it more like kind of like a weird horse, right? Like it's got a totally. Hold on a second. Let me just do this right
wait,
here. They're saying
what?
the map looks like a praying mantis. Like this is the leg of the praying mantis.
Oh, I see.
But if you look at the top part right here, okay, so there's a leg and there's some legs and there's a tail flying out. It's when you get up here that the head of the horse is all weird, right? Like,
I'm going to try something, and this will be, you won't be able to hear us, gang, but I'm going to try to just take Josh and I off the screen for a moment, and hopefully it'll make that map bigger,
let's
and
do it.
you can just take a glance. So give me just a second, and you won't be able to hear us, okay? So we might have to communicate by chat, but I just want you to take a glimpse at the map and see how much bigger it makes it. And like I said, in the future, I'll have the peninsular map specifically up on the screen for us, and you can see sort of where he is. That's what we call in the business an epic fail.
Wow, I was going to say that was really fast.
That was terrible. I
I
mean,
blinked and missed it.
I mean, it went. It didn't do anything, but that's fine. We'll play around with that later, and like I said, we'll have zoomed in sections of the map, which I got to do for my own game mastering anyway.
Quinn, I like that. Crawfish standing on the corpse of a seahorse. I can buy that.
But look at my horse! Isn't it amazing?
Give him a lick. He tastes just like raisins.
Such a great song, and as is the Family Guy episode where he buys that cross-eyed racehorse, and it's so damn funny.
That's why when that episode when he talked about that horse, he's like, "That's the stupidest horse I've ever seen."
Yeah,
Right? And then it goes to the Richard Marx thing. I'm like, that cannot be the stupidest horse he's ever seen. Has he forgotten his own racehorse?
and I was thinking how much they looked alike. Weren't you? Because it was all cross-eyed and messed up. Yeah, that episode. That's the most recent one, right? The most recent episode of
Yeah.
the most recent episode of Family Guy that's up on streaming. At least that was. I mean, it had moments that you just couldn't believe happened. It didn't hold together very well as an episode, but I swear to God, this is the other stream, Josh. You and I should do is talking about like funny shows and just lose our shit over them. I don't know, but so
we go out of our way to laugh at them, hence making it unfunny for everyone else. Right?
that's right. We don't give very many details. Remember when that happened? What's the deal with airline food? All right, so that's my Seinfeld. Moving on. All right, so
What's that?
yeah,
Did you roll for it? Oh, 77.
that's good news. I got to roll for it. This is one of the things I do as a game master is I roll for sort of activity level of the day, and that bonus or penalty gets added to every roll in terms of an encounter. And
I tell Kevin he could have a podcast of just him describing his game mastering process. I promise you people would watch it. Just the questions you ask about the dice rolls you make, they would watch it.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not yet so bold as to do that, but it's an idea. It's an idea. I'd probably have to start a new thing. And there's Pooch Hugger with a reference to failed Supreme Court Justice nominee Edward Bork.
Yes.
Kids, you can look that up on Wikipedia. Edward Bork. Actually, I don't know if his name was Edward. But anyway, Bork was definitely his name. Nominated by Reagan.
It was the 80s.
And he failed.
And did he not look a little bit like the Surgeon General at that time?
Coop. Koop. He looked very much like, because he had kind of the neck beard.
Yeah.
The neck beard without any mustache. And they both could be sea captains, let's be honest.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. And that actually Wikipedia is for learning. A study some years ago showed it to be more accurate, containing less errors than Encyclopedia Britannica.
Well, I'll tell you what it's not for, dating. I have had no success picking up tips on that thing. None.
I'm serious, about to pass out. That was really good. That was really good. I like that. This is dating. Dating is a fail on there.
Apparently I misinterpreted big brain time. I am
Oh man, like come and learn. Well, I'm halfway on board already. So, um, so Ganri's just hoping to catch a ride, offer maybe some security services. This is the episode of Random Facts. Love it. That's right. Do look up Bork. Look up. I think
Anwar Sadat. Random Egypt facts.
that's right. That's right. Oh God. Here's a random Egypt fact that I love. So everyone's heard of the Egyptian Book of the Dead, and it is a collection of spells to be used um, for the person who's dying to after they die to use the spells. Oh, hey, Keeper. Sorry, I missed that you were on there. Um, much love from Texas. Um, so the book of the dead was contained spells so that when you went before the gods and you were being your soul was being weighed in judgment. Um, you could invoke some of these spells as also some practitioners in preparing your body. They can invoke spells that would fool the gods into thinking you were more worthy. And I love that their faith involves spells that could fool their gods. It's very interesting. Um,
That attempt carried forward into the Middle Ages with, yeah,
Indulgences,
indulgences. Yeah.
right? And now there's no attempt to do that. Anything that a Christian does is seen as right. Um,
I bow down, Quinn, for the win with the random flora fact. That was nice.
oh God, that is awful, Quinn. That is
That was great.
that is not Quinn for the win. That is Quinn for the whale. Like, oh, Quinn for the groan. All right, good God, we have
Although,
scored some time.
well, just 30 more seconds for me to say, him talking about that just made me think of pine trees and turpentine and how much different go check the sticky box would be for um, people that did turpentine on pine trees versus pretty much the rest of the population, right? I mean, that's
I always thought that turpentine came from that hard-shelled reptile, turples. But as it turned out, that was not the case.
I love that I continuously confuse terrapin and tarpon, interchangeable in my mind, right? A fish and a turtle, just
How can you be blamed for that other than by your gross stupidity?
yeah.
Um, so, boys and girls, you know what? I'm going to write this down. That's what I'm going to do. I've been fighting with it all damn night, and that should be just as good. Although one day I'm going to get this fixed. All right. So, okay. Yeah, so we're just waiting. He's just hoping to catch a ride to town, maybe make a little change on his way there. It's noon.
I I am wearing my apple bottom jeans, the boots with the fur.
I like that. I like that. Um, um, sure enough. Oh, see, this is the problem with me having to restart my computer. Is all the things I had open for Rollmaster, they're all
Yeah.
shut down. They're
Yep.
all shut down, and I've got to have at least 3 apps open: Word and Excel. Oh, FileMaker, that's 3.
Yeah.
So,
Hello, Mark Harris.
oh hey, Mark, welcome back. I'm glad you're back with us, buddy. Um, so you get a Josh, a relatively well-to-do coach comes up, um, and a younger male dwarf um, um, opens his screen to the door window,
Mm-hmm.
And he says, he says, "You there? Do you have any skill at arms?
Aye.
What would you say to a few coin to keep us as far as you're going?"
As far as Shron, will that be all right?
Driver, where is Shron?
Pardon me. Do you happen to have the
He
great
says,
Ushron?
"It's it is this is crazy, but a double aught roll followed by a 97. So that's where the ship is picking you up. Really crazy. This is a bunch of high rolling nonsense over here.
I'm familiar with the area and this and the travel from here to there.
What's a day's way for you, boy? Like, we're the same age, you asshole.
Yeah.
Feel free to attack him. I wouldn't blame you.
Whatever you see fit. Just grateful for the ride.
You'll be riding up with the coachman. There is reason to suspect that someone may try to intervene in our travels. This meeting is of the utmost importance. Jeez, this dude is weird. This dude is really weird. I'm guessing you're a spellcaster, no?
I know a few.
Then you should ride with me. You'll be worth it. With a silver, earn your day.
That's agreeable.
Your job is my personal safety. Do you understand?
Understood.
As well as a little occasional scat. Dooby, dooby doo.
Oh, does he want me to get naked so he can draw me? Is that part of the?
That's actually what I have been seeing in the chat.
Oh,
Um,
I was in my notes. I didn't see the chat. Hold on. Let me jump over here. Show him the short and curlies. Oh, a magic wand. Yeah, it's a thing. I've been trying to pull it out, but it's a little shy at the moment. I
it's
don't know if it's cold out. I mean, what's the weather like, Kev? I
it
mean,
can never, up in the mountains. It's probably still chilly even around Dune.
let's do a little jog, a little jumping jack, maybe a little blood flowing. I don't know. The magic wand's just sort of, you know,
Hey, why don't you roll for me, buddy? This guy is crazy fascinating. Are you sure you built this NPC generator correctly?
I was playing around with the hood before I sent it to you. Is there something? No.
It's
63. Oh, sorry. Let me see if I can set it on my chest so we can get the.
There are a crazy number of springs up under the carriage. That is to say, to cushion the ride. Um, um, so it's always sunny in Theaxia. That's hilarious. What about Garamore, Quinn? You don't know.
Oh, I should offer him an egg in these trying times if
Oh,
it's always sunny in Theaxia.
that's so good. I have a cool magic item I made in the game because it occurred to me this sort of thing would have been produced by now. It's called Mekra's egg. It's a fairly high level. You won't find it like low level stuff. And you basically put it near it's a decorated egg, and you put it near a source of magic, and it siphons that magic partly off and sends it to you no matter where you are in the world.
That's fun.
So you gain power points. Oh, our drum rolls are back. So great. Um, Yeah. So this,
63 was the result. But
yeah, that's a perception roll about the nature of the carriage and everything, and
oh,
yeah,
okay, gotcha. Springs for shock.
because let me tell you, this is going to be the best ride you have ever had, barring a intervention, because his comfort. So, guys, I roll on this random generator. I roll so their goals,
Built by me.
and these goals. Yeah, it was built by Josh poorly. Um,
Hey, I have top-notch Chinese standards. Okay, in all of my construction.
I don't. Well, to the
In terms
Chinese
of like
hackers out there,
like oversight and what's the term we use here in the states that Republicans are always railing about not having, so things are safe and people won't get killed. Regulations, yes, that's
oh
it.
right.
Regulations, okay, yeah.
So
I
his
have Chinese level regulation on my construction.
on a scale of say 1 to 150, this guy's does his desire for comfort, for just physical comfort, is a 254.
Wow,
Yeah,
I take that back. My wand is fully available.
yeah, I understand. Yeah,
I'm assuming that's what this carriage is doing to us at that level of desire for comfort.
no kidding. That's
Just
really crazy. But by the same token, like his um, Midnight Dawn, I don't think they would feel hitting a pothole as well built and well cushioned as this thing. They could go off a cliff, and I'm pretty sure that would be a comfortable ride down.
I'm just going to go keeping with the slightly racist theme I had going earlier that the driver is actually an Asian female. Good luck, everybody.
The Chinese hackers are going to get to us. Let's just be honest. Josh's social security number is 618-9707. And just
I really hope that is the phone number to the LAPD.
that
How
is
hilarious would that be?
could anyone on chat find me the phone number to Mar-a-Lago?
Or the Maricopa County
Mar-a-Lago.
Sheriff's Office. Either way,
Yeah,
it could,
let's do that. God, we are just having a good time and getting nothing
okay. But we're focusing. We're focused. Focused.
Focusing. Could
Okay.
you do that focusing gesture again, Josh, and then motorboat it?
We are focused.
God almighty. I swear to God. I'm glad my headache cleared up. I wouldn't be nearly this fun. Oh my God.
Yeah, and Nimrod's social security number was 2. Sorry. Quinn said Bob Dole's social security number was 4. That's how
I
old he
see. I
was.
don't know why you referenced Nimrod, because he was Old Testament Nimrod.
Yeah.
I got you. That's his safe scripture number. I don't know. I was trying to do an SS there. Hail Hitler.
So were the God. Yeah, I was right there with you. Never
Yeah,
mind.
you're slow. Can't help you.
Mm-hmm.
So the
So yeah, I am. When he says the spellcaster stuff, blah blah blah, he wants me to ride with him or with the coachman. I'm
no,
sorry.
now he wants you to ride with him. He seems more interested in you as a person, but it's clear he also wants. I mean, as he said, he's like, your job is to take care of me if
Gotcha.
stuff goes down, and
All right.
so
I'll try to make sure my rod is visible at some point as I'm getting in the coach or once I get
sure,
settled in, just so you can know, like, okay, it's, an
right.
actual spellcaster here.
So you get into the coach. Roll for me.
Don't fall asleep. Can you see it there? I'm in my notes again.
You got to do a little higher because your caption is in the way. 43.
Okay.
It is. It is. I mean, it is the most cushioned seat you've ever been on. It really is very nice. He has. You can see underneath his feet, there's storage there, and these gilded sort of baskets, sort of that slide out of the seat. I mean, drawers, I guess, is what they are, but they're. What am I trying to say? They're like a wire mesh kind of a deal.
Okay.
You can smell food in the carriage. You assume it has to be coming from there.
Okay.
And one of the seats underneath him has dirty dishes in it. You can see napkins and things like that.
How, Is this so? You're saying carriage. So to remind me and the audience, that means that it is.
It's a
You
coach, which
can't see
means
in from the outside. There's no open
so
windows.
it's a coach, and so it is enclosed, and
Okay.
the carriage is open.
Okay. So this is a coach.
This is a coach.
Okay. So I don't think as because I was thinking maybe do an illusion of him or a couple of illusions of him sitting so that there were more than one of him to take a shot at. But I don't think that's going to be a big deal if we're not
No,
visible
but
from the
you
outside.
could no, but should you have to flee and run in the open environment, you could cast an illusion of him. Josh's particular interest, Ganri's particular interest in magic is in illusions. You could cast him sitting on some nearby rock or something. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So I do think I think it's worthwhile. Of course, you'll need to
Okay.
tell him you're casting a spell because it'll be
Oh, of
very
course. Well, I would bring it up to him first, which I
right,
guess I could go ahead and do once I'm in the carriage and we're sort of situated and whatnot, and say,
right.
um, you know, illusions are a bit of a specialty for me. If you wouldn't mind.
You don't have to tell him that. You can tell him this is a spell for your protection. Hold still.
Oh, sure. All right, let's run that way.
Roll for me. So you're going to cast the spell capture.
Yeah, I'm gonna stare at him for a minute to get him in, right? And then I
Right.
got. Hold on, actually, let me pull my actual
Yeah,
spell
you
list.
don't actually have to study him. That's the great thing about the capture image spell is it is literally a mental photograph, so that you don't have to memorize illusions. You
Okay.
don't produce from capture image. That does rely on your memory.
Okay, so capture image. Uh, Wait, is it image or visage that I'm doing?
Oh no, you're looking at guises.
Oh shoot, I'm on the wrong list. You're right. You're right.
Yeah,
Runes and scrolls,
you need the list actually
essence
called image.
travels. Wait a minute. Why do I not have that one in this list? That's weird. I have essence travels, runes and scrolls, and guises.
That's your tomes. You don't need to look at your tomes.
Oh, right
I'll
you
help
are.
you.
Right
Capture
you are.
image, level 5.
Okay. Hold on. I think I found it. There we go. I got it now.
Noob
Okay.
caster. Max says noob caster. Everybody.
Yep. Noob caster. Yes. So level 5 would be capture image, and then later when I go to cast it, I will be doing scene.
Yeah.
Correct. Okay.
Unless you
So a
want
5 and a
him moving.
6.
Unless you want him moving, and then you could do phantasm.
Okay. Got it. Okay.
And then you could have him run.
Actually, yeah. So that probably would be the better one to keep in mind for later. So, uh, yeah, as I have a moment here and there, I'll just sort of refamiliarize myself with Phantasm. Um, I'm gonna do scene now though. So,
Yeah. Well, you're going to do capture image
yeah,
first.
yeah. I'm sorry, capture image. All right.
Right. And so that's going to take a slot in sort of your number of memories that you have that you can store captured image in, which I'm going to increase those, by the way. I've been debating that looking at the thing. So, roll it up, cowgirl.
Oh, I got you because I got 3 slots right for the.
Yeah, and I think my level 50 guys would have a lot more than that. It feels like they should. Stats notwithstanding, it feels like they should. So I'm going to figure out a math there and send that to you.
Now I'm not doing this one from a tome, so using my rod would probably be wise though to help in the.
Yes.
Okay, so I will use my rod um, and roll it up. 47.
47, no problem. He perks up when you say you're going to cast a spell. He's clearly, kind of makes him feel important and whatnot. And so he's like, oh well, okay. And he straightens himself. He has no idea what you're doing, but it's like, okay, well, if you're going to be doing that, and boom, it's in there. So jot that down in a slot. He introduces himself as Velteg.
Hold on 1 second.
Yep. VLTEGG.
VELTEGG.
Yep.
Okay.
Um, Beard about chest length, dark brown. Like I said, he's young, a little slovenly. Average height, average weight, but clearly a man of significant wealth. Um, he
Young rich dwarf.
he's yeah, that's really what he is. He's kind of an oddball. Clothing is largely earth tone, but he it's like he's got a cloak on, but you can tell, because it would fall down, to his feet basically when you're sitting. But you can also tell beneath the cloak he has a short cape,
Oh,
and you're like, oh my god, you're just embarrassing.
does he also have a monocle and a top hat?
It is that kind of effect. Well, here's your random fact. So here's your random fact. Since this is our episode of random facts, Faulkner, the famous and my beloved author, um, William Faulkner, when he came back, when he returned to live in his hometown, he would wear a cape. Okay, and this is before he had really sold any big books or anything like that. And he would walk around with an air that he did something, and so his nickname around town was Count No Count.
Fantastic.
And if you're not from the South, American South, then no count means you're of no account, which means you've accomplished nothing. You're just kind of a pathetic individual who has no accomplishments.
Well, and in the South, being a writer, that's pretty much true, right? I mean,
Well, yeah, right. But yeah, so. Oh, interesting. Max has asked an interesting question. Kevin, what is the point of allowing me to chat in the stream? Shouldn't I be kicked off? That's
no,
an interesting question, Max.
that was a good question. Come on.
What do you mean it's a good
Well,
question?
because, okay, so I think that it adds to the immersion of the world from the language perspective. And I think that just as, you know, Tolkien has all of these books he's written basically because he loved to invent languages. He created an entire world to support the languages he created. But when you read Tolkien, there's no mistaking who you're reading. And there are some other authors that are that way, because you will see repetition of certain um, collections of letters or of
Yeah.
phonemes,
Yeah,
right?
right.
And and they they feel unique to a people or a place or a time. And
Okay.
so Kevin doing that with the two G's, perfect.
And here's another answer, and it is a serious answer, Max. What is the point of the two G's at the end of the name? Is what Max has asked. And here is the actual answer. It is the same, it is for the same reason, Max, that the word name has an E at the end. It is because all language is based on nothing. Language is a gradual evolutionary construct.
I'm sorry, Verilag has five G's at the end. We all know that she is the
I
latest
know. I don't
generation.
know. I don't get why.
5G Verilag, that's what they call her.
And he missed the four G's at the beginning.
And
So
the
I
silent
don't,
Q.
you know. But you take Max's last name, right? Dumpovitz, and when you examine Dumpovitz, um, clearly. So if you take that name, clearly of sort of East European, Russian, Slavic kind of language grouping, right? Clearly that was a modification, an anglicization of the last name Dumpashits. Now, when you take the name Dumpashits, what um, we all know that that refers probably to Josh's digestive tract.
I thought Vitz had its origin as fanatic, big fan of, and so it was just big fans of Herbert's Dune. Is that not?
Maybe it may be. I forget. Vitz maybe actually. No, no. You know what? I think it is. Vitz is like Vitch, right? It's a corruption of Vitch, or they borrowed from another, whatever, and that's son of actually.
Right. So the song, Now You're Messing with the Son of a Vitch, is actually Now You're Messing with the Son of a Son of, right? Nazareth? Anybody?
Swear
Huh?
to God,
Deep cuts. We're doing deep cuts all night.
we are. We're making obscure references. So here's a few. So it's surprising. There's your random fact again. because my father filled me with them and then gave me the addiction to them.
Not the only thing he filled you with.
And a
How
pedophile
serious
joke
is
makes its debut. No,
FBI? Yes, this man right here.
that's right. So Vitz is son of Mac, like MacArthur, any of that, MC, MAC, any of that. That is son of. And for the, I think it's Welsh, Fitzpatrick, all that.
Hmm.
That is son of.
So Mac the Knife, son of the knife.
It is son of the knife, which is kind of cool. That would be a cool
Interesting.
novel that you'll never write, Josh. You should make a note of that and throw it away.
Actually, that's fantastic. And next time I go to McDonald's, I'm going to ask for that big son of a burger that you
with,
got.
with extra cheese.
Hmm.
Can I get now? I really want a Big Mac.
Hmm.
Baby, if you're watching this episode later on, I will be needing a Big Mac tonight because I.
At any point in time in the future, anyone watching this episode needs to just get Kevin a Big Mac. Whatever time of day, doesn't matter.
You can mail it. I've actually been thinking about setting up a post box for for anything. If we get to a point right where we need a business address, if we ever get to that size, setting up one, and it'd be great to go there and find 65 next day aired Big Macs.
I'll just assume that you accidentally ordered me food again because you forgot to change the.
I did that one time, guys. I accidentally sent breakfast to Josh instead of me because I had just been visiting Josh. And for some reason, the phone didn't detect my location and change it for me. And so, anyway.
Fantastic.
Oh, God, Quinn, really?
Uh huh. Yeah, that was good. That was good.
So, we have literally in an hour, well, let's be generous and say 50 minutes because we did start late because of the technical issue. We have literally played like 2 minutes, but I gotta say, I'm having a really good time. Just,
Same, same. And Quinn, unexpected, really?
oh man. Well, come on, Dad was a nice guy. I mean, come on, it would be
Uh,
unexpected.
that was his method. I
That was
mean,
his bait.
I will never forget.
Oh,
I
dear
know,
Lord.
I know you know this one. In his class, I can't remember who it was. I can't remember what girl it was, but that
My
joke he did.
my dad was a high school biology teacher for many, many years,
Yes.
but he liked puns. He liked puns
Oh,
way too much.
loved puns. And this one, like, I will never forget this one because he said, "My penis in your hand." Um,
Because he was passing a girl a pen. He would have been fired.
this is the difference between the '90s and today, right? Like back then, totally fine. Like not an eye was batted.
Well, right. I mean, yeah. It's yeah.
Uh,
Which is not to say, I guess, that it's now in this regard, it's a hypersensitive time. But since
yeah,
we now see more and more violations, certainly the measures have gone up to prevent that kind of.
right. But from him, obviously, I mean, anybody who knew him knew that total dad joke, just the pun, right? Not
Oh man,
inappropriate by any stretch, but my God, it was. Yeah, I loved it.
I will. Yeah, I'll defend him to my dying day as the founder of dad jokes. He wanted to publish books, gang. He wanted to publish books of his puns. He loved puns and loved people groaning about them. But all right, so um,
Mm.
so you introduce yourself. Let's get back to our coach ride here. You introduce yourself, I assume, or do you want to give a false name?
No, I'll introduce myself. Um, Ganri Birch.
I'm called the Night Taker.
At last, we meet. Mm. You are. We are fortunate to have met each other. I happen to be from the area to which you travel.
Well, we were concerned about security given the latest things that I have learned. And we knew there might be some interference in our matters. Roll for me.
Phone went to sleep. Hold on. Pick it up. All right, here we go.
You said falling asleep. I'm like, that was us earlier.
That's a hot 9.
A hot 9. Fantastic. So when you don't push the point, and the coach, starts off, of course, and it is I mean, it's the smoothest ride you've ever been in. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Funny
Um,
when.
you sort of feel bad for being in it. Like you hope not too many people see you in it. You know what I mean? Because you came from a rural background and hard pressed, and this is just too much.
I don't know
He
what the word ostentatious means, but
isn't that a dinosaur? Hey, there's a quick random fact.
hey,
Um,
another in the random facts thing, and I'm really promise I'm not trying to derail us, but just with that, I had a chief in the Navy one time. We had a big thing happen on the ship, whatever, and they put out this information, and uh, it was a big meeting. Everybody was there, and then we break off into our separate work centers. And the chief that we had at that time said, "Now I don't know what any of that meant, but I'm going to reiterate it." And I almost got punched in the face because I laughed in that man's face,
oh my
uh,
god.
like uncontrollably.
You've never told me that story. That's
Oh,
fantastic.
that was the South Carolina chief who had a real strong accent. And he said,
Yeah.
"I'll kick your ice." And I'm
My
like, "My,
beverage has what?
yeah." I was really confused. I know it's a three-letter word, but I don't know if we're on the same page with what three-letter word that was. Um,
That's well put. I like that. I like that.
oh.
I swear to God, we have gotten nothing done. Okay. So, oh my God.
So I don't push the point. So
Yeah. And you can tell he's disappointed that you didn't ask. He wants to feel important, you
fine.
know? And so he just starts telling you,
Oh, okay.
because he's a weird dude, man. I'm looking at these numbers. He's such a weird dude. Like, see, I rarely share this information. It's behind the scenes, but like, so his political lore. Can you guess that number?
Three.
Hmm. World geography. Boop, 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 boop.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he just sort of knows his thing, and that's it. But curiously, he does. Apparently, he has an interest in magic, and you'll learn that as he chats away on the road. Um, so he chats away on the road, and you guys travel for a while. He asks you about your magic. Is there anything else, by the way, preparatory you want to do magic wise? You've got him stored. You should write that down probably in your memory slot there, just so you've
Oh, yeah. I made a note on my
yeah.
thing over here to. Uh, yeah. Once he goes, and begins to overshare. Um, since I could tell he was a little disappointed earlier, and I'm, I don't know. I'm feeling kind of.
But preparatory in terms of his defense. I'm sorry, I didn't
Oh,
specify.
no, no, yeah, no, that. Yes, hold on one second. I will address that. I just wanted to say that uh, I don't know if charitable is the word I'm feeling towards this guy, but
Oh, I know what you mean, though.
he's striking me in a way where it's like I don't know. I do want to feel comfortable or something. So I'd be like, just give him the sense that I understood that your business to be quite serious, and I didn't want to pry. Not that I wasn't interested. I was extremely interested.
Right.
Um, just to kind of I don't know make him feel a little more comfortable or something. Um, so yeah, in terms of prep for defenses, sorry, I will make a show of pulling out one of my tomes so that he can get another sense of magic user. He's got the wand and a tome, right?
Sure.
Um, and just kind of go through. Uh, let's see, what was I doing?
Well, this would be another great one for you to do. I mean, because you could do capture visage here,
Yeah.
with the tome, and then you could make yourself appear to be him. And you could draw off an attack. You could have basically you as a copy and then someone else as a copy, although obviously you could just cast multiple copies. Um,
Interesting. Okay, I haven't tried this one yet.
right,
Uh,
because it's off your tome. So this is Ganri's new book of spells, and you can cast spells out of the book of spells in this game. Um,
I'm wondering though if I don't want to indulge him in the same way that I sort of indulged the guy at the quarry, right? Because he kind of wanted to see magic being cast,
Right.
and even though it doesn't make a ton of sense to do it in terms of the usefulness of what I would have done before had this been open air,
Right.
just to cast a version of him sitting next to himself.
Just to impress him.
Yeah, just to say, hey, this is kind of what I had in mind as a
Right.
defensive measure, and give him a heads up so I don't freak out on how much magic he's been around.
Right. Sure.
But I think I would like to do that. My ladies, say hello to the chat. They have
Well, hi,
returned from
ladies.
gymnastics.
Much love to you both. So
Um,
both
yeah,
beautiful women you've got there.
uh, I will go ahead and defensively, though, I will go ahead and make sure that the Warmatic is out apart from the rest of my gear, like prop beside me, maybe right beside my hand. The clasp is on it. Hold on, as mystery meat comes in. Oh, thank you. Yep,
Mystery meat.
you missed the hand coming in from the side, feeding me barbecue.
That's really
Oh,
funny.
oh gosh. Um, so class of animation on the Warmatic, I'll have it out in the carriage beside me for easy grasping.
Yeah.
And otherwise, no, I think I'm good with what we have. Just talking to him, kind of looking over a few things as we go.
And you said you were going to cast the.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and give him that heads up. Hey, um, the preparation that I took earlier, I would like to show you what that looks like, and then cast the image.
Okay. So you cast a scene with him, of him seated beside him, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. Roll it up. Trying to earn your keep here. Wait, I'm sorry. You have to give me your number. I was hopping over here to.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's 27.
What the heck happened? Cast fine. And boom, it is there. He is quite impressed. Oh, you're worth every penny. I feel like I've underpaid you. That's remarkable. We should talk money. How would you feel about 3 bronze now, 7 when we reach our destination?
That's interesting because earlier he said a silver, right?
So 3 and 7 makes a silver.
No, I got you. I just that was interesting the way he's breaking it down. We can settle up when we get there. The money's not that important to me.
Well, you are an interesting one. Very well. Really, you're just going to murder him, though, right? Didn't we agree on that?
Um, well, he feels like he may be in the sharing, like he can't help but share. So maybe I'll pry a little into the nature of his important meeting and why he thinks someone will try to stop him. What sort of resistance are you expecting along the road? Just so I'm aware.
Well, he sort of leans in. It's like he loves to be in the know, kind of a deal.
Right.
And he says, "I have every reason to suspect that a certain group may attempt to stop us, as we are on the way to a meeting of great import for another particular duke."
That is intriguing indeed.
Duke Eldrick is looking to opening commerce with the Sea Orcs. A ridiculous notion, but I am not paid to counsel. I'm paid to set legal matters straight. So, what I anticipate is that we shall be followed from Galandos by various unnamed parties hired by Duke Karral, Karrall.
All right, hold on one second. Give me the first one. Duke Eld.
Here.
Oh yeah, that'll work. Private chat.
Yep.
Okay, pulling it up. I don't know why I put that down. I'm like, it blocks the map, and I'm like, I have the map. I don't. Okay. Oh, double D's. We know what's up with that guy.
You know it.
So Duke Eldrick wants to establish trade with the Sea Orcs, and Duke Corral wants to stop that. Are these names mean anything to me, given my interest?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you would have the local Duke, which is Corral. You definitely know. He, as a Duke, that means he's not in the ruling line. But should the ruling line die out, his family line, because we're just sort of using British terms here for royalty. So
Right.
a Duke is anybody who has been in a ruling line of the nation in question. And so, do not feed
terrible.
animals. Unnamed wife of Josh. Do not feed the animals.
Mm.
So you know that Corral is not in the ruling line. He resides in Galandos or thereabouts. And even though he's pretty far from the Sea Orcs, everybody generally dislikes the Sea Orcs, but money does talk. And so they are.
But both Dwarven. And
yes.
Okay.
Yes, there is. I mean, you've never heard in Garamore of a non-dwarf noble.
Gotcha.
They may exist. Married in, probably. It's one of the things I think would be interesting to roll for characters to make it sort of more racially real is how they feel about half species, half elves, half dwarves, things like this.
Mm-hmm.
I could see there being a real bias about that.
Yeah. Well, I suppose a small shiver of disgust will cross my features when Sea Orcs are mentioned, as I have a particular.
Well, those are involuntary reactions.
Yeah. But I won't have control over that. That'd be
right. Really, the question is, do you wish to suppress any look of revulsion regarding that? Since you're sort of on the job, which is a British term for being a prostitute, by the way.
Nice.
There's your random fact.
Yeah, maybe I should. I don't know how much do I care? I guess I would try, right? I mean, that since I am on the job, I would probably try at least to suppress it.
Roll it up for me.
41.
Not sure how you succeeded, but that's life. You'll have to deal with it. You're a dwarf. You're not a babysitter, and that's how that goes. He offers you food, pulls out a basket. Steam rises from the basket. He pulls one of those out from under his seat. He says, "We have hot soup, and this coach you can eat soup without fear. We have hot sandwiches. I have a bit of pot roast. I mean, it's ridiculous. I have under your seat there are pies. I mean, this man believes in comfort."
Wow. Yeah, sure. I'll eat something. I don't care super much about food generally. However, given that he's wealthy and we aren't a nice coach, after maybe I have a bite of something, so it makes a little more sense. Suppose anything wash that down with.
Oh, of course, of course, of course. Opens the sideboard above his head. There, half of it is a wine rack,
Uh huh. Uh huh.
and the other half is hard liquor.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. Anything striking my fancy in the hard liquor section there?
Well, you can't see it without standing, but he
Ah,
just sort of reads off to you. You know, you like Scotch? Do you like a bourbon? Um,
with the hard liquors, generally I've been more in the whiskey realm.
you
Is that
have,
correct?
you
Okay.
have.
Yeah. Generally favor whiskeys and ales. I guess would might be my other big thing, right?
Yes,
Um, but I'm always open for a new suggestion.
he does mention that they have Abathonian rum, which you've heard of but never had.
Hey, you know what? Let's try that.
Um, he pours you a he pours you a glass. The glasses are sort of high ended, very high walled, um, but and can be kind of fairly big. But he only pours like the amount you would expect from a normal glass in a normal bar.
Yeah.
But you can tell it's just if in case there is a slosh, it won't get on anything. It's sort of been thought out. So he pours you a shot, or I don't mean a shot. He pours you a dash of it, appropriate amount of it. I'm not a drinker, guys, so you're gonna have to forgive my alcohol ignorance. And and passes it to you. He takes nothing, shuts it, um, and what do you? And so he pulls you out a sandwich. Does that sound all right?
Hmm. Yeah, fine. Whatever he offers food wise, I'll take it. Like I said, I'm not too picky with the food.
So he tosses you a napkin out of the basket for your lap. He and takes out another napkin, wraps a sandwich in it, passes it to you, sets another sandwich down beside you, and wraps it in another napkin and sets it down.
Wow. All right.
And roll for me as to what do you think about this Abathonian rum?
Cool. 79.
It is obviously very good. You clearly like it. It's not among your favorites, but you would be happy to have it again. It's clearly very high quality.
What do they call this little concoction? It's not bad.
This is Turler's Shelf. They make it on the cliffs. That's what Turler's Shelf really is. It's a set of cliffs in Abathonia.
Wow. I appreciate the beverage and the geography lesson. These Turlers, was that TU? Oh, I see it. Never mind. I spoke and you typed. Let's see.
Um,
Cool.
he says, back to the matter of the dukes, though. The merchants in Galandos have been suffering. The storms in Abathonia have really slowed down trade. So there's been a push, not, of course, among many of the dwarven merchant guilds, but some of the others, Abathonian and others, who are willing to trade with the orcs to at least get goods flowing and get things into shops. Well, they know that, of course, Corral is in no way a supporter of this. So they reached out to various other nobles, and that is where they found some support in Duke Eldric. Well, I am going to try to arrange an agreement to at least meet with a Sea Orc leader of one of the major cities. And then, with a proposal written and inked, we can present it to the king long before Corral's men have any chance to voice opposition in court. Oh, it should be quite interesting. Of course, my name will be kept out of it, as I would lose clients, but still, it pays well. and I would like to stay in Turler's Shelf as long as possible. So,
Well, not to put my nose where it does not belong, but the captain you look to meet in Shran, would this be a Sea Orc captain, or this would?
no, 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 goodness, no. We are much more discreet than that. No, a human captain, I believe, possibly elf, although obviously not an accent elf. This is this is from the Manish Alliance. If it's Elven, um, but we're trying to deal with them as they have less issue with the nation of the orcs than other people, and of course, all trade is good and money talks. So even the sea captain's on board. Um, it's not very grand of a vessel, I hate to say, but it's large enough to take on my coach, and it's large enough to get us there without attracting too much attention. We've seen to every detail, but we can't underestimate Duke Corral, now can we? No, he may very well have men after us, and your presence and your little tricks should really put the fear into them and mislead them quite nicely. You are quite the find, my friend. You're like, am I quite the find to pay more? Hmm? So you
Oh, I'll tell him just a little bit about Shran, since I'm familiar with it, what he can expect there, the population, the town itself, like what kind of buildings and business and stuff is there, that sort of thing. Also mention that while this is a well-traveled route and generally fairly safe, the last time I came this way, uh, uh, which also happened to be via carriage, I did see giants off the side of the road. Um, so it's not without its danger.
the distance is long, and without civilization to lay between and to slay the unsavory elements, it's bound to happen. I had heard that tale as well earlier. Giants on the road. Apparently, according to some old timer, they like to hunt whales from the cliffs.
Hmm, that's interesting.
I had just discarded it, of course, thinking nothing, but hearing it twice always makes one think twice. Well, are you prepared for such an eventuality?
We were fortunate the last time I was able to use my arts to distract them with, as you see yourself there, they saw some sheep that they found to be easier prey, and were able to escape.
Well, that is clever. Well, we have chosen well our company, you and I. And of course, you can interrupt me anytime through the travel if you think of something you want to bring up to him, if you want to continue to.
Yeah, I'll just make small talk with him, just kind of get a sense of. He seems very talkative, and he seems like he would spill sort of political things, which I'm very
Oh,
interested in. Right.
that is
So,
true. You could really
as
apply him for a ton of knowledge, couldn't you?
yeah, just as much as I can soak in. I never want to say the names Aaron, Pharynx, or Balabri. Not once do I want to say any of those names.
Okay.
So I'm
You
be very
sure?
general about
You
it.
don't want to. You don't want to fish for particular information on people you interacted with,
Yeah, he just seems like such a chatterbox.
that it would come back to them.
Yeah,
I see.
and so I just don't want to uh, appear like a or be not just appear. I actually don't want to be.
So I was like, now you regret giving him your name in a sense.
Well,
Of course, you're honest, or you're fairly
yeah,
honest.
I am honest. I don't know if I regret that so much. I know that I don't want to make any kind of a bad association or bring any sort of not even shame necessarily, just uh, you know have anybody have any reason to think anything other than good things about the houses that I mentioned. So,
Sure. Okay.
um, yeah, so I'm not going to specifically mention any of those houses, and I will just present myself as, um, you know, as an adventurer, magic user, not as a.
Right.
But yeah, anything he wants to give me, I'm gonna soak in.
I think we hear the sound of cancer in your home. So sad.
That's it's always 420. What?
It's always before that. That's right. Oh, you know what? I haven't been posting any of our.
Links.
No, not that. Well, I do need to do that.
Oh, that too.
There's a little
That's
thing
why I normally
there,
have that down because the scroll's up there. Okay.
and then I will post again, guys, various links. I'm hoping I can do this without screwing things up because I had it split up correctly, and now
Oh, hey, whatever was blocking my phone is gone at the bottom. I guess our names were there before.
yes. This replaces, for some reason, all the captions, which makes no sense. But in terms of looks at so here's our donate and which one is that? Character sheet and log for Ganri, and then as we learned, we got to do these in 2 posts. There we go. And then there is a couple other links if you're interested. Um, so
There's still a link from Zelda. See that one?
what?
The link from Zelda.
Yeah, no, he's coming up. He's coming up. I was watching a QI, and it was under I forget which episode it was. QI guys, the British quiz show that I just adore, and you learn just tons of fascinating stuff in there. And they had on there the sound of the wildcat Lynx. They had the sound of his cry. It is the strangest sound. It is so weird. Um, I don't know. Just do a search and see if you can find the sound of a lynx's cry. It is the oddest sound.
I'll have to check
Um, so, right. So,
Yeah, this seems like the kind of guy that likes to talk and enjoys having someone who enjoys listening. So I will be the person who enjoys listening.
yes. Now, you should realize, by the way, that since it's a full day's travel, that means you guys will be stopping overnight somewhere because, you'll be a few hours short unless he's going to push through the night. In all likelihood, you guys are going to um, have to stop somewhere.
Okay. All right. So whenever we get towards, I don't know, not outright dusk, but later afternoon, I'll kind of ask him what his intentions were for that, and then think about
Right, move from
defensive
there.
stuff for camp.
So, um,
And his illusion will be gone after like an hour and 20 minutes, I think. So 20
you
minutes
can
per
just,
line.
you want to just leave it there the whole time?
I would leave it there for a while, but does it cost me anything to let it run for the full length? Or?
No.
Okay.
No,
I'll just leave it there until it goes away, I guess.
it's probably, I would think socially, it's very uncomfortable to have it there.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, then we can dismiss it.
Just cancel it and off it
Yeah.
goes. So he really reveals that he knows. I mean, like he mentions certain things about various leaders and so on, but you're like, yeah, I mean, everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. It's like it's really strange. Um, and so he just has a very basic knowledge of things. So you don't glean much information from that. It is sort of interesting in a sense to learn that the Merchants Guild, can have sway in politics, right? You sort of thought of the royalty and all that as separate and uninfluenceable, you know. But now, um, character sheet's acting up, huh?
Yeah, I saw that.
Let me
So
see.
I see you've split it, right? So that
Yeah,
you got 2 and 2.
and that's the full link I've got. You can try putting a space between like well, I don't know if they're I
Yeah,
don't
it should
know.
be just hyperlinked, right? Like,
Can I launch it? No, I can't. So weird. Can I come over here and do it? Sorry, gang. I hate these things. We're probably gonna do need to do bit links for your stuff, Josh, and that'll shorten them at least. Let me see what happens when I click
hey,
on it.
I did it just now. I
Yeah,
just
me too.
opened it in a separate link and it opened fine.
Yep. Yeah. Ours is working, Pooch. I'm
Now,
sorry.
I'm not on mobile. I am on
Yeah, I'm not
PC.
either. Yeah. Huh.
But I did need to open it in a separate tab. That was what I did. I just right clicked on it and opened the link in a new tab,
Hmm.
and it seemed to be fine.
Right.
And I'm just checking them all real quick.
Well, if they're working for us, Pooch, we shouldn't need to have to remake them.
The personality worked. The equipment worked.
But we can transform them into bit links, which will make the link shorter, and then maybe it'll be a little phone friendlier when we do have problems. I don't know.
The
Um,
donation link worked.
but ours works.
Yeah.
That's strange.
I bet it's a mobile issue, but I can't swear to that. So.
She's saying it doesn't work either. Okay, I'll put.
Max is saying he thinks mobile might truncate the links.
Oh, I see. So it's the mobile screwing with it. Okay. Oh, wait, that's the wrong one. So wait. All right. So I
So then
got you.
I should do the Bitly thing then for
Yeah, we'll.
our mobile crowd.
So we'll try to get that done before next time. We're also in discussion about doing a website, gang, and hopefully we can have that conversation this week.
Yeah.
So this is just the character sheet. You guys could try that on your phones and see. If not, we'll just have to try to get it resolved next time. So, um, you've got about 6 hours of daylight before you just get plunged into darkness. Um,
Did
with
his driver dwarven as well?
no, judging by the size of him, Abathonian stock at least.
Okay.
Um, Given that in the first couple of hours you realize he's just his political lore is basic, which is kind of interesting. I wonder if that's why they chose him as a lawyer, because he couldn't sort of see the entire web, kind of a thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So so is there any other topic you want to raise with him?
Um, yeah. I guess once I get the sense that his political lore seems fairly shallow, um, I may just probe in a couple of other areas just to kind of see. Like he mentioned.
Dude,
Uh, go ahead. Sorry.
but no. If you have you ever considered about asking around about the Glass Minister, or is that hands-off topic out of fear for the?
Yeah, I guess I probably had thought of it more that way, right? Like saying the name Voldemort out loud or something, right?
Sure.
um, and I don't know, maybe it has the bands. I'm assuming they had given me some instruction in terms of their safety, especially once I started adventuring out and making my presence.
Yeah, I mean, my guess certainly would be to keep it on the. I mean, certainly they would probably have told you, yes, keep it on the lowdown,
Okay.
and probably in exactly that language. But also, there's the issue. I mean, but is it ever? I don't know. Are you ever tempted?
Oh yeah, I feel like given my relationship to them and their importance to me, at some point I probably would like to. I don't know if I'd say settle the score for them, but I mean, that'd probably be something I'd entertain at some point, right? Like,
Yeah.
hey, this guy did or chick did them wrong, right? And
I'm wondering about it. Maybe I'm wondering if you ought to leave your. What do you think about approaching the Balabris about it? Sorry,
hmm,
because they're
that's
they're already sort of trusting you a great deal,
yeah,
right? And um, but I would remind you that anyone you ask about it,
hmm,
tell them not to pry into it if they don't know anything. You know, um,
yeah.
don't.
Well, and there's a couple of interesting leads there, right? So I've got the Balabris, and I've also got that sort of burgeoning relationship, possibly with the temple. Um,
Yes,
and so there's a couple places there that maybe once I get a couple, three jobs under my belt, and you know, feel a little
right,
more firm in the relationships, I could say, hey, just putting a feeler out. You heard anything about? Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
right. Thanks for testing that midnight dawn. I'm sorry, I meant to say.
Oh, good deal. Good deal.
Um, so yeah, okay, yeah. I mean, keep that in mind because
Okay.
that would be interesting.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
so far, you've gone a number of hours without incident. What's your state of readiness during the trip?
Sure. So I've got the Warmatic clasp attach out sort of on the seat beside me or propped
Okay,
up next to me.
right,
Um, Generally speaking, I think I would like to have my wand sort of in my ready hand the entire time. Um, uh, should have fairly quick access, I think, on my left hand side to one of my daggers. Um, Otherwise, I don't want any weapons drawn or anything.
yeah,
And then everything else will be pretty well in the bag, ready to jump out at a moment's notice if I need to and run. So I have all my stuff with me. I don't want everything spread out. Um,
right. Thanks,
uh,
Pooch. We'll do that. All right, you're good to go. It is, it's late afternoon. Um,
at some point, I will, like I said, because I was trying to feel around for other stuff. I'll mention a couple of the more fantastical beasts that I've come across or heard about.
yeah.
See if what that elicits from him, and maybe he has some interesting things that he's heard about. Or
All right. You got an example in mind?
yeah, let's do the Shag Tower because he's a dwarf.
I tell you
And
what. Why don't you think of a list and tell me how
okay,
many items are on that list?
okay,
All right. How many you got on there?
three.
Three. And based on the size of the list, then um, we'll roll. All right. So, what are your three?
Shag Tower,
Yeah.
Olmec, Barabel. Is it Barabel? No, that's not right. Uh, the things I fought in the the abandoned temple of
Oh,
the heretics,
Lord.
the
Where's the button?
Barblash. Got it. Sorry, I don't have Barabel stuck in my head.
Wait,
Barblash.
wait, wait. You mean the lash tails,
Those
or
are
do you mean
Barblashes, aren't they?
what?
Weren't those Barblashes? I took.
Oh, barblashes. Sorry, barblashes. Right, right, right. Sorry. I was thinking about the demon that you fought in the woods.
Oh yeah, no, that was a different. That was interesting too. Um, Now we'll see how this goes. Maybe I'll bring that up later. But I just figured you know, the first one, obviously, my experience thus far has been dwarves are generally sort of impressed by that, or have some level of respect for that. And
Right.
then
Oh, yeah. I mean,
undead.
and it's not going to surprise you if he knows about the Shag Tower. I have
Mm-hmm.
to tell you, right? Because it
Sure.
is the animal is revered throughout your culture. So, and for any new listeners, shag towers are basically sort of thick-limbed, woolly giraffe that roam the valleys, and they're considered a sacred creature by this culture of dwarves. Um,
Olmecs are undead trolls.
Right. He tells you, well, of course, I know Shag Tower, though uh, I would expect you know more than I. I know that um, they are far ranging. Um, and I mean, I suppose, like every dwarf, I'm concerned about how they've been treated in the century since the troll clans took over those sets of mountains. I imagine they hunt them just like food, um, which is such a crime.
Is that even something I've considered before?
No, and he just isn't looking your way, but I mean, you feel just a shock of revulsion just pass through you. Roll for me.
Is that open ended?
Yeah, it is.
Negative 51.
So you're like,
Wow, you can't see that 54 at all, can you? There we
I
go.
trust you though. I trust you. It's not a lot of contrast, I
It's kind
agree.
of a light purple.
Yeah,
Yeah, and there's a little light coming off the screen too, I think.
yeah. Um, you should go on to Restream and share screen of your phone. Who do you love? You love me. That's who you love.
Once I can figure out how to put a dice roller in the PowerPoint presentation, I'm
Right.
off to it.
Um, so, um, so, yeah. I mean, it's just he doesn't see just the. I mean, your jaw just drops, and you're just, because he's thinking about the other things you've asked about. He mentions the Shag Towers. He's looking down the floor, thinking, and you're just shocked, and you're like, trolls have no respect for anything.
Yeah.
I mean, which is worse? You think that they slay them and eat them, or that they're bound animals of labor?
Uh, oh, geez. Yeah, neither one of those sits very well with me.
Can't And then I mean, like all these thoughts just come flooding into you. Roll for me.
73.
I can't wait, you think to yourself, to see how I react when I see my first Shag Tower coat worn by a troll. A Shag Tower rug in a pub, you know? A Shag Tower head mounted in a home, or hell, just on a pike. I
Or
mean,
accidentally eat a Shag Tower burger. Oh,
that is the worst. That is the worst. I can't do bison. There's a random fact about Kevin. I can't do bison burgers. They taste there's a the type of little gaminess they have tastes spoiled to me. I can't do them. Like I took a bite of one and I had to order something else. I
well, at
couldn't.
least you gave it the old college try, right?
Yeah, well, I didn't know. Of course, I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, of course I'll try it. Lean meat, of course, but I couldn't do it. And everybody else at the table loved them. I should say, in defense of them, do try them. Oh, I couldn't do it. It hit me just the wrong way.
Well, there's a thing though. Once you are sort of used to a certain type of flavor, consistency, fat content,
Right.
what profile, whatever, however you want to phrase that. When you try something it's almost like an uncanny valley thing visually, right? But
Sure.
it's in your taste, and you're like, oh, that's not right.
Yeah. Right. So, um, so yeah. I mean, you're just. I mean,
Great. Now I've put myself in a shitty mood.
you're right. Well, that, and you're like, it's really going to be. I mean, you really are going to have to start already getting in the mindset of you can't let that stuff bother you.
Yeah.
You can't, because if you see it, then there's no. You have to rein in your anger. There's no way to, do
Right.
that.
So note to self: when I go to see the band, one of the things I want to talk to my dwarven mentor about is um, controlling my emotional state, because this will be the second time in a short
Dwarves,
time.
dwarves do not discuss that.
Oh, okay.
Right? I mean, that's not. First off, it's a relatively new age thing. Although maybe in our history with it, but I can't imagine dwarves having developed that yet. I can't imagine it being a topic, right?
Mm.
Other than obviously, if you hit someone, you're going to be in trouble, right? I mean, that's the extent of the conversation. You don't beat your wife, although honestly, in a culture like that would probably be common practice. But we just take it out for our own sensibilities. Um, it's sort of like what you see in a lot of role playing courses. Poverty, hunger, disease, largely removed from the equation. Although I generally do keep poverty and hunger in mind. Um, but so yeah, I don't.
Yeah, Max, that is correct.
Oh, Max,
Hmm.
man, Max, really, really, Guatemala. When I say Guantanamo, Max, one of the things I've said about Max is he's a real asshole.
Mm.
One,
Guantanamo, Michael Bay.
he's
Oh, I like that one.
like that. GM Bay. Um, so he says the Barblash, the way you've described them, we had another adventurer in our employ, um, and yes, he talked about them being quite vicious and living in small groups, but really, I know nothing more than that. Oh my God, that's funny, Hugger. That is funny. Gets a joystick to control my emotions. That's hilarious. Um, so so he says, "I'm sorry, I couldn't help you more." Um,
Oh, don't worry yourself. I'm just fascinated by magical animals and so much to see in the world. I'm always looking to see if anyone has any experience of something I haven't seen yet.
I wish we had more time. There's a book in my study filled with accounts of such things. I've read it a couple of times. Um, Now, largely the stories are. Let's see here. Direction. Oh yeah. Largely, they were that of an explorer and sailor uh, of the coastal marshes, just south of Abathonia. There, he described the ice mantas that would rise out of the ocean, 20, 30 feet across. Um, if you startled them, they would spit shards of ice, would shred a sail, they say, and slice a man in half. Um, what else were there? There were rumors he mentioned of a great tentacled beast that resided in the marshes that may stretch for miles, they say. It's apparently a native custom, a native legend from that area. I forget the name of it, some gobbledygook of their primitive minds, but, um, and of course, there are giants to the north, throughout the north, and in the marshes as well. Um, and there are various spirit lights, I recall, that he mentioned.
That tentacled beast in the marsh. Dromivore? Does that sound like anything you would have heard regarding that?
No, no, that doesn't sound familiar at all. I can't recall what it was. It's supposed to lay submerged in the water and just stretch for miles under the water. Rarely seen.
And that area, this is out of character asking, that's basically just south of where we are.
The area he's talking about?
The marshes.
No, no, no. That's across the water, north, straight north.
Oh, okay. I got you. I got you.
So,
Um,
so really, if you look at the map,
yeah,
right,
yeah.
roughly, if you go straight north of Garamore and you hit there, the two nations you see marked off there, the one to your left is Abathonia. And you can see, right, so go straight north, but do it by ship. How about that? Go by ship straight north. Don't hit land.
Oh, come out to sea. I got
Yeah,
you.
come out to sea and go north. Now you have landed now along the coastal marshes. That top nation is Abathonia, and you see
Okay.
then why they would have trade throughout with everyone in the peninsula.
What's next to Abathonia? I can't quite read that. Right there?
That is the northern dwarves. That is Grundivore.
Rundivore. Okay.
You know very little about them. I mean, they're dwarves, so how bad could they be, right? Um, um, so um,
Okay. Interesting. All right. Let me come back over here real quick. Uh,
So yeah, the coastal marshes. I mean, they stretch for miles and miles and miles, and so of course, in the dead of winter, they're frozen practically solid.
hmm.
Um, um, and this is the first confirmation you've had that there are natives that live there. Um, well, you guys have had a fairly uneventful day, except for just knowledge. He does mention to you, unasked, that um, that they don't plan to stop for the night. Hence the excess food.
Ah,
They're going to
okay.
pull over for dinner because the coachmen, they can't keep riding. They're going to brew some coffee for everybody so they can stay awake, and then off you'll ride. Um, and so it's come supper time, you guys pull over. Um, the coachmen eat because they'll need their hands free. You guys take the opportunity to. It is slightly less movement than this cloud of a
Yeah.
coach. Excuse me.
I'll take the
Um,
opportunity to speak with the coachman. So it's two Abathonians?
it's two Abathonians, one rode in the back, and he's
Okay.
probably second security.
Gotcha.
Watching their tail. Um, and then the um, and then the guy in the front. Um, so actually, before you have them talk to it, what do you think about taking a break?
Oh, yeah. Um, oh, yeah. Shoot, we're getting close to our regular stop time, aren't we? I guess we
Well,
killed
I
an
mean,
hour early.
well, we're we usually go for another 30 minutes or an hour afterwards, but I figure
Let's
we
take
could
a break.
we could use a break. So, guys, just hang out with us for a little bit. We're going to take a very quick break. We'll be right with you. I'm going to yank us off the screen, Josh, so you won't have to mute anything. And we really appreciate you guys hanging in there and listening to us. Um, and we appreciate everything you guys do. And we'll be back in just a few minutes. Thanks for listening. Myself off. All right, everybody, welcome back. Thanks for hanging in there. We are going to continue rocking and rolling. The coach, Velteg's coach, has just stopped for an evening meal before they ride on through the night to catch a vessel in Ganri's hometown of Shran, and off they went, and now they're stopping for the evening meal before they keep going. So they stop. The two Abathonians come out, sort of check an area off to the side of the road. Check the road itself. Pull a pull a pull the door open for you guys. Help you both out. I mean, it's all very posh. So the guys, they make a quick little fire to boil some water. Um, 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 Valtag says, "What would you care to eat?"
Whatever you're having is fine with me.
He pulls out one of the other things and lifts a cover when there's a roast with vegetables ready to go. Not quite as hot as it used to be, obviously. Um, he he pulls up a decorative board that's hinged on the inside of the door, and he pulls it up and then swings out a leg, and it fits in a notch on the floor, and there you have a little dinner table. He takes it out. He's like, "At last, we'll have to eat in our laps, but I'm sure you don't mind. I'm sure you've eaten on many a campsite." He starts slicing big chunks off, and hands you a plate, and he serves you up and scoops you dishes out vegetables for you and plenty of gravy. Um, and He asks, if you'd like more rum, or are you going to stick to water to remain sharp?
Water for now, but are you enjoy drink at all?
I'm trying to stay sharp.
Fair. I have a bit. Uh, Crap, I always forget the name of it. Whatever I came across recently that I bought 3 bottles off from Hanlick at the at Three Torches.
You're drunk all the time. You need to stop.
Uh, Hold on, I got the name here. Something Silver, right?
Weird, our volume just kind of jumped.
Our volume's down.
No, it kind of jumped. It was weird.
Let's see. Okay, Longfire. It's a dwarven whiskey.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm sorry. That was what they were drinking. I purchased Silver Cap. Is what I got. That was the more expensive.
Yeah.
Dwarven whiskey. Well, if you change your mind, got a bit of Silver Cap.
That is tempting, but no, I must remain true to my calling and stay on focus. But it is much appreciated. Passes out napkins. You guys eat. Even to your dull palate, you can tell. Certainly, one of the tenderest roasts you've ever had. Very well done. The man does not skimp on amenities. Um, um, and The men know to make coffee for whatever security we have on board. So if you want some coffee to stay sharp, they're certainly brewing enough out there for you. They'll have mugs and whatnot.
I wanted to check in with them anyway, just to see that we're on the same page security-wise.
Of course, no, quite good, quite good. You'll have to go out the other door, of course. This is our table.
I understand, as I just plow through the table.
Sweep it out.
Oh, God. Uh,
Barbecue sandwich.
that is literally what I just ate.
Yeah, it's funny. I was thinking about the old GI Joe PSAs that they did a while back. Oh man,
Pork chop sandwich. My God, that smelled delicious.
what the fuck are you doing? Get the fuck out!
Good stuff.
We should do that stuff. Oh, I got a headache suddenly right there. Jeez.
Oh, no good.
It's sharp as a bastard. God.
Just digging in there.
Yeah. Oh man. So, yeah, you head out there. 2 Abathonians. Watch you with some curiosity. And one just kind of gestures to the coffee.
I give him a nod.
He's got a little picnic basket too. Takes it out. The mugs are like, clearly this is the employer's thinking of what low class do, but those mugs are nicer than the ones you've got at home. And they just nod and give you their names really quickly. Mm-hmm. And then like one leans in and just says, so how is the client? Like, what's he like to be with?
He's affable enough.
Well, you've got the harder job. I've heard you yammering in there forever.
I think he enjoys having an ear. That's for sure.
Rather you than me. These guys are definitely first generation Garamore, in the sense that their accent is still pronounced.
Can I tell? I know it's getting later, but can I tell how far out we are?
Well, you see in absolute dark. Dwarven eyesight in the dark is better than elves. So that is of no consequence to you whatsoever. Yeah, you're about 2/3 of the way there. You figure you've got another quarter day.
Okay.
It's gonna be some hours of riding. You'll be there before dawn, unless something waylays you.
How's the road been thus far?
Quiet. Some merchants and what have you. Farmers, some herds coming into market late, but
Have you fellas been this route before?
Yeah, we hire on here and there with a couple of bigwig firms. One merchant's guild, his little office has got 3 or 4 scholars or whatever they are in it. But sure, money's not bad. This is the best coach among them, I'll tell you that.
You aren't wrong there. Not that I've been in many high-end coaches, but you spared no expense there, huh?
Oh, he doesn't. Soft little bastard.
You fellas kind of fumbling around in my bag a little bit, and I pull out the bottle. Care for a little before we hit the road again?
You kind of check to make sure the boss isn't watching. Just right in the coffee would be fine.
Little doctor for him there.
That's right. Just don't stop pouring. Just look them in the eye.
Just say when, and I've got my hand blocking there so they can't lift it.
Yeah, I love to do that to Andrew. It was one of my favorite jokes. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'll take some." I just keep pouring until the thing is just brimming full, and he can't move it.
Oh god.
That's so good.
Did you used to do that thing too, where somebody goes to the soda machine to get the thing, and you push their hand in so they can't pull it back, and then if you let go and the drink gets all over them?
Oh, I haven't done that. I wouldn't do that one because I don't want to ruin their day out. Like I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Now, I did do to my nephew Daniel. He was getting drink at a Burger King, and I was there hanging out with his family. And I said, "Is that your drink?" He's like, "Yeah." And it was still on the drain plate, right? And I
Yeah.
go, "That looks great." And I just put my hand all the way down into his drink.
Remember me.
Yeah. So I can't wait for all these stories to be told at my funeral. But um, so um, yeah. So they look like they've got. I mean, he didn't skimp really on their lunches either. There might be a few fixings, but you're like, that smells like the same roast beef. He just cut it into sandwiches so they could eat it quickly.
Yeah.
And they're appreciating them and so on. They're relatively armed, and at a glance, they seem like the weapons they've got seem to be of high quality. So they've been, spending some money on some stuff, not trying to chintz on things.
Either on them or in the coach, have I noticed any uh, bows, crossbows, ranged weapons at all?
Yes,
Okay.
there are. Um, the back guy's got a short bow he's wearing, and you remember thinking when you got on he had something in his lap, and your guessing is that was a crossbow.
Okay.
Um, um, and you think you make sort of a mental note, or just while you're standing there, you kind of turn so you can face the coach. And um, the driver does not have any bows on him, but probably because he needs at least one hand to drive the horses. Um, and he's um, um, but they seem capable, to the extent that you can judge that from a meal. But they seem to take it fairly seriously. Like this really is their livelihood.
Yeah.
Um, they've
I'll
got
give them a. I feel like dwarves, we're proud to be dwarves, right? We admire our own dwarvenness, as it were.
Yeah.
Um, it insists on itself, Brian.
What is it you don't like about dwarfs? It is.
um, so I feel like it would be complimentary to them to say, I admire your kind. I recently had some experience with you fellows, and every single one of you that I've met seems to be quite capable.
They kind of glance at each other, a little mildly surprised, and they're like, "Well, it's high praise." Um,
Yeah, I know my kind can be a little tight-lipped at times, but just game recognizing game, because that's the way dwarves talk back then, right?
that's yo West Side.
But
Um,
that's Westeros side. Thank you.
no, please don't compare that shitty world with mine. So the only thing that Westeros has over Karandrin is a tremendous more of nudity. That's the only thing.
Okay. I feel like that's easily solved. I don't.
The short and curly's return. Let's start a new Three Stooges group. We'll get Quinn in on it, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what we'll do, but I figure one of us will be short and the other one will be curly.
Okay. Got it.
And we're like, yeah, this is short and curly. And like when we're held hostage, right? When two of us are held hostage, like, well, you got us by the short and curly. So,
And we just beat that joke to death. That's the entire.
beat it to death. Stiff, short, and curly. So, sticky, short, and curly. Oh. Oh. So, coitus. So,
Pick us.
yeah, the name, All right, so the So you guys, finish up. They don't hurry, but as soon as they're done, they're done. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Any relevant information I may have about this last little leg, anything the road may do, uh, a farm we may come across in case there's trouble. You know what I mean? Like maybe I know somebody closer to Shran or whatever. Anything that maybe I think maybe of help to them.
The
Um,
things you mentioned, they say, yeah, we've had the same thought.
okay. All right.
Um, you
All on
know,
the same page. That's great.
I say, with the highlands rising from the sea so much here, it's just tough to find any other port. I mean, Strawn is, the next to last port, and so when the road runs directly through. We do kind of have a backup of um, cutting inland and throwing any pursuers off, but that's going to add hours to the journey. And the
Sure.
ship's going to wait for him, but the longer they wait, the more nervous they're going to be. So that's sort of a last ditch thing, but we're going to try to outrun trouble before we fight it, you know.
I,
So,
I'll be as of much use as I can, but I agree with your plan there. Outrunning it does seem to be the better course of action. And if you need an extra set of eyes that can see in the dark, I'm your dwarf.
where are you?
Who said that?
Um, so they, so they clean up the camp real quick. They douse they douse the thing. They stop deliberately off near a bridge.
Douse the coach in kerosene.
It's a
That,
hot
that,
job,
that little guy's going to smell delicious. I'm just saying right now.
like a barbecue pork chop sandwich. So they douse the fire and they douse it again. I mean, they run back and forth the stream they want, and um, the guy goes and gets a shovel, and like he even covers over the campfire, all the ashes and everything.
Should we all pee on it, fellas?
Let's just see what we all working on.
Hmm.
Which was a conversation I had with a drunken buddy of mine on a camping trip. Do you want me to tell you this story?
Mm-mm.
We're sitting. Let me text you his name. Private chat you his name.
Oh.
But so we're at a camping trip. He's had a little bit to drink, and he just starts off with, I'm just wondering what we're all working with here. Let's all talk about our dick length. And so
Fantastic.
he volunteers his, um,
Now,
and
is he going flaccid or, hey, I'm interested?
no, I think masked, and that so he volunteers,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because I'm running with X, right? And
Starting from the taint? Or is
uh,
he.
that's how I measure it. I don't know. That's how I frequently measure it when I
Uh-huh.
frequently measure. But the
That's how you got the nickname Undersack. All
right,
right.
but the other three of us, we just kind of just sat there in silence and just or moved on with the conversation. It was like, why are
Oh
we?
my God, how awkward.
It was really odd.
How awkward.
So I reached over and finished him off. I mean, come on, I was a guest. I was a
Tim, I
guest.
don't want to leave you hanging, but since you're not really hanging, I. Oh, Max, I had no idea there were official rules for dick measuring contests. I feel certain there are official rules for pretty much anything, Max.
That's true. Isn't that one of the internet rules out there? You can find
Yeah.
rules that somebody's made for anything.
Oh my God.
Well, one
That's
thing I know, if you want to, I can measure a dick really quickly. Watch this. Max, how tall are you?
Uh, there's a "don't let that go to your head" there joke somewhere.
Oh, I like that tape measure.
Cool. Hey, Barb.
Um, so you give them a hand. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
you put up the tripod holding up the pot and stuff, and they've each taken a last thing of coffee. We don't know if you want one or not. Would you like a last thing of coffee, or are you just going to roll with it the way it is?
Um, yeah, sure. I'll have another sip. But
There you
I
go.
don't have anything to pour out. And uh,
They pack stuff up, and they get on there, and they're like, long night. Um, you know, um, you'll hear us call out certainly if we see anything unusual.
all right, gents. Well, we'll see you when you get there.
And off you ride. Um, the um, so now
Also,
you
Belteg, I think he's chosen wisely with his coach crew. They seem to be capable.
he's like very good. I'm glad. Once we get on the road, I'll hand you your pie. And he's sliced you a piece of pie and everything. He's already eaten his,
Oh, good God!
and
Sure, this
so
guy's not a hobbit.
I
What's
know, right? We don't see many halflings over this way, but of course they would have to come by ship or come by ship over the to the Manish Alliance and then come over the mountains, which is possible. There are major roads over there, but not a lot. Um, not a lot of halflings in this region of the world. Um, so, um, you guys ride, you eat your pie. Um,
I did think of another thing I did want to bring up
yeah,
since we were talking about a variety of topics, and I was just kind of getting his opinion on things. I'll bring up the Night Taker. See if that's anything he's heard of before. And I'll sort of preface it with a little, not to turn things dark, especially since it's dark, but
he is not. He is not.
okay.
Um, um, a couple of hours after dinner, he he just curls up on the seat.
All right, fair enough.
Um, and you are definitely getting tired. Um, you've probably got a couple hours left in you before you're going to have to start making some rolls here, buddy.
Okay. Um, how do I do with since I can't really make myself of use looking outside? Being on
Well,
watch, as it were.
you can't make yourself of use.
Well, in the sense that we're enclosed and not open, I would have to like open a window
Yeah,
or roll up a shade or whatever to do that.
yeah.
Do I think that would interfere with his sleep at all?
It's getting dark now. No, I don't think so.
Okay, all right. Um, then yeah, I'll go ahead and
You know
well,
why he fell asleep though? Because of some smooth scat. Boo 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 boo. Okay, I'm sorry. Sorry.
I love that you love that so much.
I do. It's so ridiculous. It's so stupid.
Um, with the way I'm facing, if I opened the blind to the seaward side of the coach,
Yes.
um, would I? How am I sitting? Would I be looking out the back or towards the front?
You'd be looking out the back,
Looking out the back. Okay.
which is sort of where you expect pursuit to come from. You expect pursuit to come from Gallandos. So
Right. Okay. Nah. I love it, Max. I love it.
so great, Max. That's hilarious.
Um, okay.
I tell
I'm a
you,
little.
Max, when we get things a little more refined, okay, what we'll do is we'll have a counter like that up. Wouldn't that be great, guys? We'll have that up, and we'll probably
You
do
should
a,
put one on there. Number of days since players remember to ask for Miracle Roll, or number of
oh,
sessions, right? Because I always forget to ask for the Miracle Roll. Always.
oh, that's fantastic, Max. That's your job when you decide to listen in on nights you listen in. You have to remind Josh to take his miracle roll. No, that's great. I would love to do all kind of that stuff, and we'll look into that. We'll do it on the website too. We'll have it up. Doobie Bot to keep track. Detect it. It's a little app that detects Kevin's voice going doobie doobie doo. Uh,
uh, thank you,
Thanks,
Max.
Max.
Thank
That
you.
was great.
I
Is it
was
time for
literally
one?
just thinking about something, but
Do you want to rewind a touch and have it rolled for the Night Taker? But of course, you're sort of done with that, aren't you?
yeah, no, I am. Like I said, I was just generally making conversation with him, but since he's already gotten to the point where
Yeah.
he's ready to sleep, that's fine by me.
Excuse
No,
me
I
while I
actually
chew on my glasses intellectually.
have.
Hmm.
Yes, a bubble pipe might be
Oh,
uh,
that would be so
a
great.
nice touch for you.
I'd get it
Just
all over my laptops with my clumsy ass, but
um, no, I think I'm trying to decide right now whether or not there's a security risk associated with opening the shade. I would think it would be minimal, right? Given it's dark, it's on the seaward side. I'm not that we're on the edge of a cliff or anything, but you know what I mean. It'd be
right.
less likely from that side. Um, and having that open and whatever air or exposure to the night that may give me, help wake me up a little bit. I think that's worth taking that risk. So I will go ahead and open that. Uh, was there a moon or anything when we were out earlier? Was it?
So one of our inconsistent points, right? I should keep track of just the moon, right? Like last time we rolled, it was this. So in all likelihood, it would be like that. But I don't. We just roll it randomly when asked. Maybe it's a miracle roll. 3/4 moon.
Okay.
So
So some decent light off of that then.
4 non-dwarves.
Yes. Um, I,
Now you could cast when he falls asleep. You could cast the illusion there on top of him, and they would shoot for him if they're going to take a shot through. You know,
yeah.
or not.
I'm just trying to think about that.
You could also cast it in front of the horses. I mean, there's another suggestion.
I do it on top of the coach.
Yeah.
um, no, I think I'll just kind of keep a watch out. I was thinking about looking at the tone, but I feel like I do have a duty to this guy since I did say I'd protect him to actually
I
the things. Um,
like your reasoning there. I did tell him I would protect him, so maybe I should protect him.
but I will be thinking about, um, the predicament with the band, right?
Yeah.
And sort of running that through my mind. And I think I kind of want that to be my miracle roll is, do I have any insight into a solution for the band? Right? Because we had been thinking about them possibly going, you know, to Kyler Vane. And I
Yes.
don't know if we'd come to a decision point on that. It was still being discussed when I left. Like when I,
Discussed and resources being researched.
right.
Like, what could they get magically and otherwise that would make it possible to go to this new land?
Um, yeah. So just in sort of mulling that over in the back of my mind while I'm kind of looking out and, the miles are kind of gliding by, just, to have a little stroke of genius or a flash of insight or something that just, oh, why didn't I think of this before? Duh. They could, you know, I don't know. That feels like a low bar miracle roll.
Well, yeah, it's weird. A flashlight, because what you're wondering, because it does seem the low bar. It seems like what you might do is rather, um, yeah, it's kind of weird. One, it's not. I mean, because you'll just think of the idea, and well, what good does that do you? The other, I mean, you could do something like, I mean, why don't you do something like Velteg here mutters in his sleep. Um, oh, that's funny. Did you see what Pooch Hugger said?
I just saw that. I didn't want to cut you off, but yeah, I
Oh,
did just see that.
that's so great, Pooch Hugger. That's hilarious.
I have I have a dish of warm water.
I thought
I have
about that.
placed it under his hand.
I thought about that. I thought it's actually the boiling hot coffee because you forget the nature of the joke.
Ah!
But what if he talks in his sleep and he talks at length about the glass minister?
Oh, that'd be interesting. Yeah, I mean, I guess that would truly be miracle roll territory.
Yeah.
Um, all right, sure. Um, let me phrase it this way: Does my fare, is that the right way to refer to him? My fare?
No, because that's for a trip. That's if you were driving the coach. So your client here,
My client, yeah.
or your
Does my
charge.
client, given his talkative nature and his, access or position of wealth, talk in his sleep, mentioning anything of value to any of the irons I currently have in the fire? Well, they make it a little broader like that, right? Because class minister seems very specific.
It is, but the miracle roll is, that's what it's there for.
All right, sure. Glass minister it is.
All right. Unless you've got something more important you want to find out about.
Eh,
One of those sources of infinite knowledge that you've heard about might
true.
lead, right? Because that could lead you to multiple answers.
Well, then could I make it that broader thing? Any of the irons I had in the fire, could that incorporate those, or is that too broad a question for the miracle roll? Does it need to be more specific?
I would want it
Yeah.
more specific.
All right. Um, hmm, let's go glass minister.
All right.
All right, here we go. Ready? Fire.
Not bad, but not it.
Yep. Got up there.
They got up there. Oh, thanks, Max, for the drum roll and the saxophone. That's hilarious.
I assume that's Epic Sax Man.
Oh my God. Yeah. You should share that. Share that on the screen. Just oh my God.
I freaking love that thing so much.
If only we had the horse from Family Guy doing that, it would be perfect. All righty.
I'd like to see a combination of the guys that carry the casket that do the casket dance while they're carrying the casket.
Oh my gosh.
So that, but the music is Epic Sax Man.
That would be funny. That would be funny. Do a flash mob casket. That'd be the best. Flash, I guess it'd be what? Flash mob pallbearers.
Has anyone considered a casket crawl? It's like a pub crawl, except you're carrying a casket around to all the different drinking stations.
Going from that's really funny. All right, so I can't believe you guys haven't hit anything. Usually, the whole system in Rollmaster, in Karandrin, the way that I do encounter rolls, usually you would have in a whole day's travel, you usually have one encounter. That's the way it's geared. And here you guys have just been doing nicely.
We've had social encounters.
One long one.
It's the friends you make along the way, Kevin.
I do feel bad for even suggesting otherwise, honestly. All right, well, here you go. So there comes. It's late. It is. It's well after dark.
I'm gonna mute myself real quick because I gotta blow my nose. I don't want to blow anybody's ears out.
All right, do it. But you're still listening to me, so that's what matters. Interestingly, when Josh blows his nose, it is the exact sound of pushing a poodle onto a juicer, and that's what it sounds like. So there is a bang on the carriage. Clearly, they've seen something. They stop abruptly.
All right. Warmatic in the offhand. Wand in the rod in my primary, which I guess is my left, right? I got that backwards last time.
Veltag wakes. He's clearly sleeping lightly. I mean, he sort of must be taking this duty seriously because he's, he didn't, even with all the comforts around him and some alcohol, he's not sleeping deeply. So,
oh wait, he didn't have any though, did he?
No, it's true. He didn't. You're right.
It's sharp.
So he wakes. What is it? What is it?
One moment.
And he grabs you and he's like, "You mustn't leave. Let the coachman deal with it." Um, the guy in the back, you've heard him hop out, comes round. Uh, he just whispers to the door, lights up ahead, checking it out. We know there should be a bridge soon. This would be a great place to hit us. Um, and he moves on ahead. Um, what would you like to do?
I think it probably, even if it's nothing, wouldn't be that big of a waste. Should go ahead and cast the illusion, but I'll need to do the one that can move. Of
Phantasm, level
yes,
8.
yes, I'll need to go ahead and cast Phantasm. So I'll turn to my charge, not my charge, God damn it, my
Hey, charge is fine. Yeah.
okay, yeah, turn to my charge. Maybe nothing. I'm going to do this just in case, and it's what I showed you earlier. And then I'll go ahead and cast Phantasm, and just have it sitting there beside him in the carriage. And the plan will be, and I'll tell him this: if we need to run, I will send this out one direction, you and I out the other.
All right. You've got the seaward window open.
Right. So,
So you could go ahead and cast him standing outside the carriage, or lean out and cast him behind the carriage. And because you don't, I mean, you could run seaward. There will be there will be settlements and so on around.
well, we could still run landward though. Right? I mean, we can exit either direction. Correct.
Yes. My point is, which do you think pursuers will think you went? You run to the sea, you'll be pinned by the sea. I mean, you've got some miles before you'll be at the sea. But just throwing it out, I think you think, I think Ganri thinks that they're more likely to expect you to go landward.
Okay. So to send the illusions landward and us seaward.
Right.
Okay. All right. So I'll specify that to him just so he knows and he's not caught
Yeah.
off guard if that's what we need to do. I don't. So at this point though, we don't know that there's anything. So I don't know if I want to put the illusion outside or keep it inside because I can make it move. Right.
If you make it move, you'll need to open the door for it
Sure.
because it can't physically alter things.
Right. Okay. So I'll tell him that then. Going to cast the illusion. If we need to run, I will open the door towards the land and I'll point to the door for the illusion to run out. You open this door. I will follow behind you out this door.
Okay.
Savvy?
Um,
And I will send
so
my
you so you need to,
Warmatic out
you
the
need to
door.
you need to crack the screen so you can see the cast outside. Oh, you're not going to cast it outside. You're going to
Yeah, I'm
cast
going to cast it inside here. And then if we get the signal from I'm assuming one of the coachmen is still with the coach or would
Yes.
holler if,
Yes, that's yeah. He only one guy said he was checking it out.
okay. So if we get a knock or a yell or whatever our signal is, then I'll, activate the illusion to go landward while we run seaward.
Right. You could
Okay.
also remember you can do illusions of anything, right?
Okay.
So you could do scenes of a large boulder, right? And then you can't see through the illusion, otherwise illusions would be useless. It would screen your movements.
Mm.
You could even stand inside a big enough illusion, although there are limits on how big your illusion can be based on level.
Well, now, quick question about this. Once I've cast the phantasm, do I have to concentrate for that to continue, or does it continue for the set length of time of the spell?
I'm sorry, say that again?
So, say I do phantasm and he's running out.
Yes.
Okay, the phantasm is.
Right.
Um, Now I want to say cast boulder for us to hide behind.
Yes.
Or cast another illusion of a boulder. Does the phantasm go for a set length of time, or do I have to concentrate on the phantasm?
You have to concentrate on the phantasm to give it any additional instruction, which means as soon as it runs out of level ground, it's going to look weird.
Because it's going to be in the air or
It's going to be
in the
running
ground.
somehow over a slope without breaking pace.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, really, I guess. Roll for me. Well, no wonder. Let me So much closer.
83.
It occurs to you, you really want to test out if this is a trap or not? Put an illusion of Velteg out by the trouble. If they attack, there you go. There's the target. Why didn't they shoot it?
True. Now, what would that do for the coachmen, though? Would they, not being aware that's going to happen, you know what I mean? Would they be,
You have to deal with that in some way or not at all.
okay,
But it is a elegant solution. Now, I will tell you, even with capture image, illusions aren't perfect. They are
sure.
not digital cameras of this era. They're the closest thing to it. But someone with a very sharp eye, especially with a lot of knowledge about Velteg, if he had his mother and father would have a huge bonus to see through the illusion and go, that is not our son. It's still not perfect. Um, um, because you're doing all this with unknown forces and it's not perfect. But I mean, the worst thing that can happen. What's the worst thing that can happen if they see their boss appear on the road? Well, they're going to yell at him to get back, which just adds to the illusion.
Okay. All right. Yeah, let's run with that. I'll need to stick my head out to see where I'm casting it, though, right?
Yes,
Okay. So
both heads.
Velteg,
You have to stick both heads out. There's no other way.
to Velteg, and if I stick my head out, would I be able to speak to the coachman that's still on the coach?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Hell, you could shout through the carriage walls. I mean, they
Sure.
often do.
So to Velteg, I'm not going anywhere. Stay put. And I'm just going to kind of lean my head out,
Yeah.
looking forward. I'm assuming that's where he was headed, was forward, right? Towards where
Yes.
they saw the light. Okay. To the coachman that's still on the coach, if you see your boss, it's not him. Don't worry.
If I see my what?
And then I'll start to cast a spell. Hopefully, he'll recognize me using strange language as casting a spell.
Sure. Well, most people go their whole lives without seeing magic, but that's okay. You can traumatize this guy. I don't mind.
So yeah, let's go ahead, and I can see the other. And this isn't dwarven vision at night thing. This is just general distance thing. I could still see the other Abathonian walking forward.
Well, except you guys have no light. Well,
I'm saying I, as a dwarf, can see the other Abathonian. He's not gone so far that even in the daylight I wouldn't see him. Right, the other Abathonian walking in the road.
Oh no, yeah. I mean, it's
towards the light.
Yeah, because he's not going to be curbing behind cover or anything.
Gotcha. So I want to cast, if I can, cast the illusion slightly behind and maybe to the left of him, so it's not directly in his line of sight.
He is. So you look out. Let's start with you looking out. Right.
Okay.
Give you that information. So you peek out, rod at the ready, and I rolled for your peeking out. You rolled a 1, you fall out, and that's the end of Ganri. We're going to make every action fumbleable.
Just break my neck.
I know, right? And so there are 2 lights out. I should say you guys would have light because these guys can't see in the dark. So they would have 2 lanterns probably hung, not in the back, but 2 lights, basically like headlights, so they can see the road and not go off.
What horses? They don't see in the dark, do they?
Well, it doesn't matter. That's why you put blinders on some horses. I don't know if you've ever noticed that. The eye coverings on horses.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I use blinders so they don't get distracted and so on. I don't know if it's like used particularly on young horses who are a little less disciplined. I don't know exactly the rules governing blinders.
I gotcha. Okay.
So
I guess that would be for busier areas where things off to the side could distract them. And
yeah, I don't really know all the rules governing it, but you'll see like a lot of plow horses will have blinders on because they're just waiting. They're just listening to the thing. They're waiting for the he and the haw or the tug on the reins, which way to go.
You've heed your last haw.
What is that from?
Oh, it was a meme I saw. Gosh, what was it related to? Dang it. I'll find it. But it was good. I liked it quite a bit.
Dad would use he and haw when he would plow with Cheyenne, our pony.
Okay.
And he means left, haw means right, is my recollection. Someone with a deeper agricultural understanding can.
Yeah, I don't know. I just do port and starboard,
There you go.
and I cannot stress this enough. Oh.
Haw. So,
I'm sorry. I just think of Jerry Clower when I saw that.
oh yeah,
Oh, I can.
yeah, Jerry Clower, man, such a crazy. Um, so so you look up. The guy's moving very cautiously. He's moved to the inland side of the road, the Abathonian.
Okay.
Um, his crossbow is cocked and loaded. It's a light crossbow. He's moving cautiously. He's staying near where he can throw himself behind some shoulder of a hill or something, throw himself behind a rock and dodge incoming fire if he needs to. Um, um, so he's only about probably walking slowly. He's only about 30 or 40 feet away, and there's another 100 feet to go pretty easily.
Okay.
Uh, to go to to reach what is two lanterns lighting an area. It is at the foot of the bridge, and um, it's a cart. It's actually a wagon turned wrong way around, pulled by two oxen, and and you're like, man, I can see why they're. I mean, we're just stuck. We're just trapped, you know. Um, and so they're watching the. So that you see Manish family looks like not Abathonian, so probably from across the mountains. Family who have settled here in times past. Um, it's two adult children, both female, mom and dad, and they're working on getting the ox. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Obi Wan Karen with the joke. That's funny. Um, they're working on trying to turn the cart straight. They've had to unhook the oxes because as they turned and made the wagon slam into things, they may have either become unhooked or the hitch itself is jammed up into the small wall of the low wall of the thing. Um, and so now it's left to, if it's legit, of course, it's to hook the oxen somehow and drive them to pull the wagon straight so they can get back hitched. And you're just like, oh, that wagon, it's not covered, but like you could put three guys back there laying down. They pop up when you're like, man, this feels. I mean, we should do an intuition roll. You're still going to be nervous, but do it. See what your gut says.
25.
Don't know how to feel about it. Could be perfectly legit. Could be the best ambush ever. Um, they could just have guys up in the slopes.
Yeah.
Um, there is a good flat space here, inland side. There's a pretty good flat space here, and you're thinking that is the only thing that feels good about this is we're not as hemmed in as we could be. We could cut, and with some risk to the wheels and axles, we could cut across brush and open country for a bit. They don't have us as pinned in as they thought, but they definitely have us paused. Um, um, you can tell that the Abathonian up front, the coachman, properly speaking, is he's checked on you. He heard your movement underneath. He catches your eye. You can see him scanning like the brush out there and how the countryside and thinking, if I got to go, I got to go, right? And so there's the situation fully before you've cast your spell, before you've spoken to anybody.
Okay. 'Cause, 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 So they have 2 lanterns. The family does.
They've set them on the ground, kind of like markers, right, for people to see that they're there, but also because they need the light to work.
Okay.
The coachman says, "Your dwarven eyes better be looking into that brush."
I'm wondering if I couldn't. Now I know it would be unsettling if this is truly just a family,
Yeah.
but if I couldn't cast light, um, range-wise, I'm guessing there's a spot I could pick, a tree or side of the hill or rock or something. I was hoping for something up higher, maybe even the eye level of the guy, the coachman who's on the coach still,
Yeah.
toward the uh, toward where the family and their cart is, and cast light to illuminate that area. Right? Am I thinking that that is because the range on that um, is what am I, level 4? Is that right?
I try not to pay attention to your level.
Uh huh.
I don't like it. I don't like it when you gain power.
Uh huh. So
I thought
if
you were higher level. Are you level 4?
am I? Oh,
You're
let me
level
look real quick.
5, sir.
Am I? Okay, level 5.
That's the other reason I don't pay attention, because you don't. God,
Uh
I hate
huh.
you.
Well, I try to, per your wishes. I try not to make this a numbers game, right? Try to think
Where's your
about it
lights?
organically.
Where is your light spell?
Essence travels.
Oh, okay.
The second spell, light.
I got you.
So there's a 50-foot radius or a 100-foot beam, but if I did the radius thing, it can be cast on any non-living surface, right?
Yeah.
And I could cast that 50 feet out. So if I saw something at the right height, and I'm thinking, hey, if that even gets close to halfway there, right?
Yeah.
That could,
It's 50 foot a level?
no. It's 10 foot per level. Hold on, let me go back to it real quick. Um, yeah, 10 minutes per level, 10 feet per level.
Okay.
But it's a 50-foot radius. So if I was able to cast it 50 feet away from us,
Yeah.
right, that light would go all the way to me, basically, and then, no, radius, I'm sorry, not diameter. So it would go half and half, right?
Right.
But I don't know if that would do more harm than good at this point, just in terms of visibility for the Apithonians.
Well, I mean, that's one of those things where, I mean, they might be startled, but you can warn one.
Yeah,
I mean, you've got a lot of choices about disturbing people here.
yeah.
At some point, you're going to have to be sort of, no pun intended, but mercenary about what you're going to do.
Yep.
Hey, good night, Max. Thanks for hanging out with us. Love you, buddy.
Thanks, man. Um, okay, well, just to the Abithonian then. Would light help the situation for you?
Well, of course.
All right, what do I see then in that range? Like
Well,
a
in
non-living
what
surface for me
direction? In what direction?
towards the disturbance. That's
Okay.
the direction we're focused, right?
Toward the what now?
Toward the cart, where
Oh, I see.
the thing is.
I was thinking if you cast it into the brush, you might flush out ambushers and give the Abithonian a chance to see into the brush.
Okay. Well, if that makes more sense, then yeah, let's we can do that then. Because that's the only point where we don't have good visibility from physical obstructions, right?
Right.
Okay. All right. Well, let's do that then. Let's pick a spot. Um, I guess as close to 50 feet away as I can in the brush. If I see a tree, it has to be just a non-living item. So if I can make out a tree or,
That's living.
oh, it is, isn't it?
I don't know if you've ever been around trees, but they live.
Any dead trees?
There's definitely some tumbled boulders.
All right. Yeah, a boulder or a rock face or something that where our point of.
A useful point. Yes, there are several.
Okay, pick one of those and let's cast light.
All right, roll it up.
God, I gotta change the time my phone falls asleep. It falls asleep entirely too quickly. All right, Heinz 57.
No problem. roll to aim.
Doop.
No problem. Yeah, illuminate's a nice radius, somewhat deeper in, right? Because you're getting some wash from the lantern. Um, um, he says something in Abathonian, probably something like "Dear gods." Um,
He says, "Let there be dot dot dot."
and he stands quickly because he's got the better vantage, and he looks, and of course you look. Neither, you guys look at each other. He shrugs and you shrug. There's no real evidence of anything there. Um, he curses though and looks at you and he says, "No footpaths or game trails either that might make this trip easier if we've got to cut and run." Um,
Well, think your compatriot will be able to get him straightened out in short order?
assuming they're real,
Yeah.
he's not good with animals. No.
Well, I'll leave this to your discretion, but if you think you'd be better, perhaps we should change positions.
Are you good at driving a coach?
No, no, not me. I assumed you were good with animals. Could you help get them straightened out so that we can be on our way?
Oh, I take your meaning.
No need to bring us up there. It still could be a trap. But
Let's see how close they are to done if it's real. I don't suppose you've got any of that, whatever, that could hurt a person if it comes to it.
I think I could manage that. Yes.
Well, that's something at least. Moves up. The guy continues moving up the road. The guy, your Velteg is, tugging at you. What's going on? What's happening?
Looks to be a family. Oxen got turned sideways. Carts blocking the road. Hopefully your fellows can get them straightened out here, but we can't be too careful. We just want to be certain it is what it seems to be.
Oh well, I'm sure it's just a family. You're like, boy, you're security minded, but you're not suspicious, and you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Doesn't have a suspicious nature. Rolled like a 7. He's like, oh, that's fine. It's a family. You told me it's a family. It's a family. Some dwarves.
All it could be.
Um, so, um, he moves forward. Roll for me.
22.
Yeah, the voices cast back and forth. They're just lost on you. You can't really
Okay.
make head nor tail of what is said. Um, the guy turns and heads back. Roll for me.
35.
His posture is more relaxed. He's lowered his crossbow.
Okay.
He makes a symbol up in the air. That's kind of a 2-fingered swirl, and you recognize that as the Abathonian signal for thumbs up, basically. But it's okay. Situation's all right.
So I feel like the light is helping, hurting, or neither at this point.
At this point, it is useful if you still need to cut off that way, right? He can see exactly how to turn off if you need to turn off. If you don't feel like you're in danger, then it's doing neither.
All right. Well, I'll just leave it up then.
All right. So he comes back. He says, it looks like they've almost got it. I could see part of the back of the wagon. I don't see anybody there. The brush looks clear. If I were them, I'd put blinders. I'd put some narrow beam, some lanterns with the shutters partially closed, and shine them down the road where we couldn't even see them. If I were them, but they seem to be just using the light normally. I don't know. I think I've got a good feeling about it. Um,
I'll relay any of that to Velteg that he didn't catch.
okay.
And I still sort of keep an eye in that area. Just
The grassy area, the brush, and area,
the
or up
where the
ahead.
family is up ahead.
Okay. Yeah. So you guys do sit there for some minutes. Nothing transpires. Um, and they move it. They do get it. They've had to hook it to a different part of the wagon, with the hitch jammed up against the wall, and they pull. They pull the wagon. You can hear it, screeching as the wood scrapes against the stone. You can see them checking the wheel to make sure it didn't get overly stressed by the pull,
Hmm.
and then they fix the hitch. They give everybody a wave, and everybody climbs back onto the wagon, and off they go. Um, so now, of course, you've got to pass them. That's there's a moment, right?
Yep. What you looking at?
Oh, sorry. Well, Poochugger was saying that the chat seems to be lagging. Oh, you know what it is? You know what it is? Poochugger is that she's on Twitter. So here, I'll show you quickly what she posted. There you go. Isn't that fun that I can do that for people?
That is nice.
So yeah, she's on not Twitch. She's on Twitch. Sorry, not Twitter. She's on Twitch. So there's what she posted. Um, but so um, any your state of preparation different you want to do when they pass? It would be as they approach. I mean, I guess you can just shut the things. You can shut the
Yeah, the
shut the
blinds,
shutters,
shutters. Yeah, uh,
and
yeah, that'd probably be the smartest thing to do there is close the shutters, and I'll maybe just I'll wait until we've crossed the bridge to dismiss the light spell.
well, I was wondering. So as they pass, okay, if they attack initially, it's going to go in, right? It's going to go in this way, hitting his seat. If they wait to attack when they pass, it'll go into your seat. So I don't know if you want him to like lay down on the floor.
Oh yeah, no, good call. All right, let's do that. Let me have him.
Or
I
listen to
feel
some
like if I
scat. Too bad, dooby doo. Okay.
if I have him just lay down in his seat, um,
That will help. Yeah.
yeah, let's do that. Okay, so Veltig, this may be more precaution is necessary, um, but why don't you lay down in your seat for just a moment until we're past this family?
And you've got other defensive spells, dude.
Yeah, I've got. Hold on, come back over here.
You could put essence armor on this man, and then stuff will hit him like he's got a full chain suit on.
Hmm. Yeah, that's interesting. Well, that and deflection is pretty interesting too, right? Because it would be a ranged attack, I would assume.
Yes, but with your shutters closed, you'll not see the missiles come until they hit. Whereas if you armor him up, right, you don't have to see anything.
Oh, I would need to see it with deflections.
Well, yeah, because you won't know which shooter you're deflecting.
Oh, I thought it was just applying to all physical missiles that were passing within a certain range.
No, it affects a physical missile.
Okay, I gotcha. Hmm.
Oh, all you saw was her name. Well, weird. Sorry about that, Pooch Hugger. I wonder if I can repost what she did. Not that it really matters. Let me see. What can I do here? Oh, I can reply to her and I can add to block list. That's funny.
Okay. No, yeah, that might be interesting. We should. Yeah. Well, I will clear it with him first to make sure he's a willing target here. I mean, not that's necessary
No,
component of the spell, but just to make
no,
sure
it
he's
is for
comfortable
any
with it.
magic. Otherwise his natural living being's resistance to magic will interfere with any spell.
Okay. Um, I would like to cast some protective magic on you. Would that be all right?
Oh, no, of course, of course.
You may notice. Would he notice the shimmer? I assume.
Yes, if he's paying attention at all, it'll be on the outside of
Okay.
his clothing.
You may notice a slight shimmer around your body. This will be a protective magical shield, an armor of sorts, if you will. Once again, I do not believe it will be tested, but I would rather be safe than sorry.
Obi-Wan Karen, that is hilarious. That is so damn funny. That's a Mitch Hedberg joke. That is so funny. Do you remember the show? Do you
Yeah.
know it? Oh, it's so good. Go look up Mitch Hedberg, everybody, and go
Uh
watch him on
huh.
YouTube after the stream. After.
Hmm. Um, which, speaking of, I'm getting close-ish. Obviously, want to finish this section up, but I think I'm
You're fading.
hitting my point. Yeah.
No, I
Um,
understand.
yeah, let's attempt to cast that then.
Roll it, cowgirl.
Wake up, phone. All right, boop. It's -30. That's what it is. -30. Mm, good times. There you are.
Man, that's really great. Um,
Mm.
fails. No, we're gonna say 6 damage. Uh, you kind of um, let's have you lose triple exhaustion, so that's 18 points of exhaustion. You're a little winded now, and you make your apologies. They're still, they're still some ways away. They're you know,
It was 6 hit points, right?
yes,
And 18 exhaustion.
yes.
Okay. All right.
This is what we get for missing drum rolls. So if people can, if you've got the ability, please let's do a drum roll.
Yes.
Or
Give me the drum roll.
please do a drum roll.
To Velteg, my apologies. Magic is not something that should be done lightly or can be done lightly. Let me try that again.
There was a flash from your fingers. You were thrown back in your seat.
Mm. Yeah, I felt that. Once again, magic dangerous. Now, hang tight. All right. Here we go for number 2. You son of a bitch. Slightly better.
No problem. Cass. He when you finish, like he jumps a little bit because he's just expecting, he's a little piped
Sure.
up now. This is going to help you guys stay awake. Oh, thank you, Obi-Wan Karen. And so it shimmers. He is just really impressed by it. He's looking at it.
I lay down.
Maybe you need to lay down. I don't
Yeah.
know.
We both need to lay down.
Let's lay down together. Hmm?
Once we get past this carriage, I'm going to have a drink. That's for certain. But for now, I'll try to remain painfully on edge.
So he lays down. The armor does cover his ass. Like literally, you can see it shimmering in his ass. Not in his ass. That's what you'll do to him later.
Mm-hmm.
They pass. The two wagons pass in the night. The two vehicles. You come over the bridge, and you peek out really quickly, and you're like, "This is the bridge before home."
Oh,
They've been driving the animals hard, but this coach is so comfortable, I
it,
couldn't even feel it.
wow.
So yes, it's late, but you guys reach Shran safely, and I think that's a great place. Have you guys pulling up to the little wharf, the few docks down at the shore of Shran,
Okay.
and I think Josh, you should say goodbye to the nice folks.
Well, thank you for a wonderful evening, Kevin. As always, appreciate your uh, efforts and professionalism, and thank everyone for joining us this evening. Hopefully, you enjoyed playing along with us, and looking forward to next week.
Yes. Is there any, Josh? Do you feel any sense? Maybe does your schedule lean you toward doing maybe a makeup session at some point? My Saturday's gone, but do you think there's a hole after Wednesday?
Hmm. Making a hole after Wednesday.
Yeah, deep Wednesday.
Um, yeah,
Maybe.
let's go. Oh, and speaking of next week, I do have oncology on Tuesday, but it's early in the day, so it should not affect
Okay,
our
no
evening
problem.
play schedule. Um, but shortly after that, I will have some MRI, CT stuff coming up. But
Well, so we should maybe just say generally people watch out for an unscheduled one that will pop up, and we'll try to
yeah,
do a
let's see
makeup
what's going
session.
Thursday. Do you want to try to go daytime maybe because that would be less
Yeah, I
noisy
mean
around here?
anything, right? Because people can just watch it to catch up, and we'll do a recap, of course, of every episode, and we can do that. And
Okay.
so, yeah. So for everyone else, we're just thank you so much for watching. At the stream, you'll see that there'll be the title, the description box of the stream will have the link still up. You can go look at his adventure log and his notes and things like that, as well as his character sheet and equipment and personality. Also, of course, feel free to donate, like, subscribe, follow us, all that great kind of stuff. Spread the word about us to friends who like gaming and like storytelling. And we'll try to be as funny this time, but more on track. And but it was I enjoyed it. Thank you, Josh, for being here. You're one of my favorite role players. You always have been. And well, look at that. There's Jude Sant coming in at the end, huh? That's way to go. Hey, Jude. Hey, Jude. I like that. Jude Samp is an old friend of ours, dearly beloved, and always great to see him. So we may do a makeup session. Just stay tuned for that. And of course, you can always catch it in the recording. And thank you again, everybody. And we will see you, if not in our makeup session, then we'll certainly see you next Tuesday. And of course, tomorrow night is our good friend Max playing Brees and continuing his story of Brees's tale. And so, thank you again to everybody. You've been great. Good night.